the eve of the beginning of Final Fantasy Randomizer League Season 2, and here we are, Randomizer Prime. My name is Wukleosis, and I am joined tonight for the final preview match for the League Season 2 Stage 1 flags. It's the Enforcer, Team Vorpal himself, it's Falconic FF.
Well, Cleosis, how are you doing, buddy? Like you said, this is the last preview match before the league starts up tomorrow. It's also the last run of this beautiful little thing we've created here called the New Player Showcase until the league ends. Looking forward to it. We are going to be graduating our last little round of duckies here, and I'm sure the league's going to bring in some new faces, some new players, and we'll start this back up and have some fun afterwards. But it's a little cramped in here today, huh? Looks like we're not alone in the commentator booth. Who's that with us?
What's going on with us, Falconic?
Is that
the leader?
The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Vorpal himself, Czar? Is that Czar?
Good evening, everyone. I am in attendance. I am ready to handle recaps, and I'm ready to hype the FFR League, and I'm ready to hype the new player race today. We have been quite busy in FFR land recently. We have a new tracker up for you folks, so we hope that you enjoy this presentation and what is to come in the coming months.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a preview of tomorrow. You know that the league starts. This is Stage 1 flags. We go live tomorrow. Falconic, how many people are in this league? 50 something?
Last 50? I saw 56 with the addition of Lyra SRL today.
Oh, speaking of Lyra SRL, one of our new players, upper right-hand corner of your screen. Lyra's played a whole 5 matches, 5 seeds. I think 3 matches, definitely a new player. We got Kiyu. Kiyu, lower right-hand corner. I believe first match for him.
It is Kiyu Ketsuki here. First time I've seen one of the newest duckies we have. Going to be holding on to that duckling role going through the league. They're probably going to be featured in a couple of the new player races after the league ends.
Yeah.
But yeah, fresh face, ready to go.
Neon Gray, better known as Villain Fetishist here on Twitch, has played in a couple of these in the league. All these players are in the league. We got Cat Doctor. Cat Doctor's been helping us out with the crew. He's still, one of the ducklings. There's 7 players in this match. We also have a veteran room running the same, essentially the same seed otherwise that aren't newbies that don't really fit the duckling role that it is that we have. This is going to be the last duckling match. We've been doing this for 2 months, and Czar, the success of this duckling match has been just amazing with the turnout and everyone's finishing, and the positivity toward growing the community has just been great.
It has been, and it's really quite amazing to see how these ducklings have become mighty ducks and are now quite experienced with Randomizer and putting up solid times.
We're just seconds away now from the final new player showcase rates. All these players are going to graduate and become Mighty Ducks very soon after this matchup, and then we move into the League Season 2, and we will certainly go from there, but we certainly like to thank you for joining us all tonight here on Randomania. Restreamer Edgeworth, the champion, 2018 Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament. We've got Elastoid joining us in the booth as well. Mr. Versetti's here, Team Vorpal, helping us out with the tracking. Right now, White Magic, Level 1, Life 2, it's in the 2nd slot. Oh, we're not going to get that, Falconic, that's in the 2nd, that's the harm slot.
Not going to see it at all, not even from that night when it gets class changed. That is unfortunate. But Warp, though. Warp and Fire 2 and Bane. Yeah, Black Magic is looking really, really good.
Pretty good. Magic for, Czar, can you take a look into the, magic shop for, Lyra SRL, please? Are the... Whoa, wait a second.
Yeah, it
wait a second.
like we might
Caillou. Alright.
A little bit of a hiccup here.
These are new players, fans. We certainly do apologize. It looks like we've got multiple different ROMs going on. Like we said, Lyra, it's only the 5th seed that she's played. The I think 2nd or 3rd match. We know it's Kiyu's first match as well, so we're going to slow this down really quick. And we're going to get in contact with our players and make sure that we can straighten out the ROM so we have a good, fair match. So, and this is why we do this, Falconic. I mean, the eve is tomorrow, and we can get everyone on the same page. And especially if you're new, or even if you're not new, people make mistakes. I do it all the time. I mean, Minochi85, he's been dodging me for months.
He's been dodging all of us. I think he's been a little bit too busy at the buffets.
Yes, more than likely, eating too much lunch. So, actually, Czar looks like he's left us real quick right now. And thank gosh he's here.
Yeah,
he's
no kidding.
Custodializing and working on everything to work on getting a new seed up for both players, so for all the players. And it looks like, well, Life 2 might be available to learn then.
Well, yeah, we're gonna reshuffle. We're gonna put the cards back in a new order and see what kind of spits out here shortly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that would have been a tough pill to swallow. Life 2 level 1. You can see it. It's on the table, but you just can't reach it.
Yeah. While we have a minute here, Falconic, I'd like to give a shout out to some of the people that have really put these new player races together, and I have got to talk about Moist Mogwai.
Mhm.
The hours that she's put in behind the scenes, getting the streams going, getting with our restreamer. Tonight being, of course, Edgeworth, taking care of that Minochi 85 and all his restreaming, and recruiting everyone to come in when me and you weren't available, doing things herself. Moist Mogwai, what do they call her, Falconic?
Moist Mogwai is better known as Mama Duck. She's our new player advisor, essentially. Just recently got promoted within Discord to the Circle of Sages. She's got a little bit of responsibility under her role, and she's been doing a very, very good job lately, getting everyone set up, helping with SRL setups, making sure that everyone's lined up and they understand how to just kind of play the basics. And sometimes it's not so much about knowing, where to go or what spells do what. Sometimes it's just about how to navigate the community, and to have somebody like that can help somebody out that's new to say, okay, here's where you need to go. Here's who you should reach out to for this answer, for this question. It's invaluable, and she's just done a tremendous job with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Really taking the lead on that, and sort of, I think you're calling a new player advisor, and someone that's very approachable. Moist Mogwai, we certainly thank you for everything that you've done and help putting all these things together. Obviously, Minochi 85, the buzzsaw himself, doing all this restreaming. Edgeworth, obviously the restreaming tonight. Edgeworth has done some commentary. Shadow Walker stepped up from the original Duckling races, and he's done some commentary. Elastoid tonight, he's going to be taking care of our tracking. He's graduated and he's gotten through. So the positivity of everything that we've done the last 2 months has really helped grow us into this last match right here. And then obviously the eve of the league season 2, we got team play coming up, Falconic. What about some of those teams?
Some of the teams here are a little bit interesting with the makeups. You've got some people. I think we have a team Apathy where they really don't care how this shakes out. They're just here to have fun.
Yeah.
And you may see them up against a team that I think has Tristal and Ortea's in it. I mean, just a stacked team. And I'm looking forward to just kind of how those two clash against each other. You got a team that wants to win against all odds, and a team that doesn't really care. They're just here to have fun. So it'll be interesting to see. Can maybe some upsets happen? Is it? Are we going to get a rematch of what happened in the tournament with Tristal and Will, maybe?
Yeah, that was probably the upset of the tournament, and I can certainly attest to that. I think I'd probably be the one that would say the most of that. We had, last tournament we had Arson Horse in his showing. How about Fuzzy Mage? Remember all the damage that Fuzzy Mage did and creating all this chaos that no one really saw coming?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's what's going to give Team Apathy kind of a big push. Fuzzy Mage is the type of person that if you talk to him, very, very good player, but really doesn't take anything too seriously. Just a guy that loves to have fun, and he came in and just absolutely destroyed people that were a little bit more focused and determined to win. But I think just that laid-back nature is what kind of worked with this.
Yeah. The aforementioned Falconic talked about Team Apathy. That's led by, I believe the captain is the proprietor, Meridian BC. He's teaming up with Melee Wizard, Crab Cakes, the most recent winner of this gigantic 19-person race out of nowhere. Crab Cakes really, almost dominated recently. Also along with Specty. One of my favorite teams as well involves 2 players that are in this match that are actually not being featured. They're off stream. We're going to get to them in just a few minutes as we are starting to reset up for a new seed. And it's Team Friendmech. It includes Leggy Starscream, she's off screen. Her partner, a Tiny Fairy, she's in this match too. She's off screen, along with MBI and Soul Taker. And those are 4 names, Falconic, that again came from the new player match. And I just love the Team Friendmech. If you can maybe explain that to the fans a little bit.
Yeah, so Warmech, even on some of the lower percentages, is very well known for just not being a fun fight. Of course, you always have to look out for some of the spells and abilities that are in the Revisited and Chaos Fiend pool, but Warmech is very well known to just kind of reach out and touch you pretty hard, or as they like to call it, hug you pretty hard. So they form Team Friendmech, and Team Friendmech doesn't hit you, he hugs you for 10 hugs and 1,000 hug points per second, or whatever you want to call it. But it's an interesting team, and again, a team that I think doesn't take themselves too seriously, and I think that's why they're going to do well. Yeah,
and so what we're doing with the league is it's not team play the entire time. It's some individual and it's some team, and we'll get to the team portion when that pops up in the multiple weeks that does pop up. But what starts tomorrow is stage 1, individual play, and I've got to think that race tomorrow is going to set the standard, and I think it's going to blow away any other numbers of participation and fun that we've ever had in this community, as far as everyone jumping in and having a big what do they call, battle royal, Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, yeah.
Yep.
Battle Royale, I think, is what they call it these days, but it's always been Royal Rumble for me, and I think some of the older community members.
Another team that we're looking at is Team 3 and 256, otherwise known as the Meme Team, headlined by Split Punched and Miss Shenanigans herself, Rainbow Poogle. Joining them will be Neon Gray, who's here, right here with us, will be featured tonight. And Tilo, he was in the tournament last time, did some damage. Very good at Dragon Warrior as well, very active in that. So they're going to be trouble too.
Yeah, I think I'm really looking forward to this league, only because I think you're going to see a lot of surprises. You can look at some of these teams that are already laid out and some of the names in those teams, and I think it's a little too easy to just kind of tell yourself, okay, that team's going to do well, that team's going to do well. This one, never heard of them, they stand no chance. I don't think that's going to be the case at all. Some of these flags are pretty standard, so of course the veterans are going to fly right through that did well in the tournament, and that's going to be the case. But again, with Fuzzy Mage and Arsenal Horse, we saw that surprises can come from anywhere. Some of the flags from some of the stages aren't quite so straightforward, though, so it's really anybody's game. It's all about kind of how you adjust. And like you pointed out, this new player showcase we're running here really showed that at any time, it doesn't matter if you're a veteran of 2 years or somebody that came off the street a week ago, put a little bit of practice in, you can surprise a lot of people. Neon Gray, just the other day, just wiped the floor with veterans and newbies alike. And I wasn't surprised, but it certainly felt like a lot of people were.
For Conic, I just got an SOS. No, I don't know what it's called. I just got a immediate delivery. We have a new team entering. We've got a new team that has actually just formed as we speak on the eve of Final Fantasy Randomizer League Season 2. It's the Game Changers, Falconic. We have a team, the Game Changers. It is Team Captain Zardia, Mr. Versetti, the Godfather himself, SVJ, Saint Von Jester, and Kiyu. Kiyu is on our screen right now. First match, look at that, jumping right into the Team Vorpal, the Game Changers. I love it. Just been announced.
Amazing. And that just goes to show, I believe we're holding this open until the rest of the night, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe into tomorrow. I'm not sure about that. We can get the details. But if you're watching this and you like what you see tonight, it's not too late. Grab 3 friends, play solo if you want to play solo. Let's do this. We just got a team that entered here at the 11th hour, and I think it might have just taken first place as my favorite.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Meme Team. I like Team Math. I mean, Silverfire, Demarine, all the damage that Demarine did in the tournament, all the broadcasting, the fantastic broadcasting. I think that's going to be a good team as well. I don't really see anyone that sticks out, that other than Team Apathy, who just, hey, it's have a good time. Just kind of like you said. I would have to give the nod to the Legends of League. The team, X-Ice Blue, the franchise, Out of the Darkness himself, Artea, obviously the former champion, Tristal MTG, can always play, and the Emerald City St. Will Bloodworth is in this. I probably have to give them the edge, but I think Team Smart Cookies might give them a little bit of a hard time. Minochi 85, Tyrannex, Ikbin Maya, and Take No Prisoners himself, Fuchsia Fantasy. I love that team.
Yeah, the Buzzsaw, Fuchsia, might as well call him the Bullet. One of the fastest we've ever seen coming through here. Tyrannex, who runs the weekly sync races, and I think has taken first or second place in a good 2, 3, 4 of them. That's a team that I wouldn't want to play for sure.
And the team that was born from these eggs of duck matches, Team DuckTales, the graduate Mighty Ducks, Shadowwalker 227, Romulus. Oh, there's a player right there. Wappy. Oh, and joining them, Arson Horse. So another strong name, still newer really to the community. A whole bunch of teams that I just think it's going to be an absolute blast.
Yeah, that last team you mentioned there is it's a really strong as well. Rom Ulysses and Wappy, really, really big challenge seed runners. So we kind of saw them kind of sharpening their game week in and week out with some of the weird stuff. Rom Ulysses for the longest time, just absolutely unbeatable.
Oh,
Finally suffered the first defeat. Wappy, I think, is somebody that is really starting to show the improvement in their game. So that's another team that I'm really looking forward to watching. It's going to be fun.
Really,
Fun for
really
sure.
looking forward to that. Definitely. We've got a whole lot of stuff in the works. Gosh, the last 2 nights, myself, Falconic, Shadow Walker, Moist Mogwai, Tarnin, Lord Fizzlebeef, and such. We do a lot of the alpha testing. We actually have our alpha website out there to the public. You can actually go to that and do some of our new features. Some of the new features that we're doing have been implemented here in the tournament. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. Like trap tiles are going to be shuffled all tournament long. But some of the new things that we're doing are, we had one showcase of a Falconic and we won that match. Co-op mode. How fun is that to you?
Co-op mode's probably my favorite mode of the game, dependent of the flags. Of course, I'm a big. Everybody knows how much I'm not a fan of the quicker, no loose chest items or flags. I love surprises. I love difficulty and kind of challenge, and to be able to have fun doing those types of games with a partner that can kind of tell you, okay, listen, you know what, I'm going to go here, you're going to go there. I don't like Ice Cave. I never have. So maybe you're a little bit better at Ice Cave and you go do that for me. Or maybe I'm struggling over in Volcano and I just can't get through with the party that I picked, but you picked a different party that has a little bit easier time. To be able to kind of craft your game and work together and communicate, it just adds an extra layer to the game that we all love so much.
Right. Exactly. And it looks like we're starting to clear the air a little bit. Zardia has, of course, put his headset down, gone into crowd control. I see him down there. He's got those orange things in his hands. He's waving them around. And it looks like we're getting close to getting back going here. We just did an update to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. That's kind of, I believe, where this came from. And we're working out. This is why it is that we're doing this. And we get all the kinks worked out until tomorrow. And how about that new tracker? I don't see the NPCs anymore. I don't see that. I think it looks a lot more cleaner, and I certainly like this from a broadcast point of view, and I think I like it as a viewer as well, Falconic.
Yeah, I think it's going to make it a lot easier for somebody that isn't so familiar with the game to be able to come in and say, okay, what's going on? With all the NPCs, that was nice for veterans to be able to go, okay, I know where that person's at, so they've been there, cool. To be able to look at this now, you can see all the key items over the top. You can see the orbs, very clear. Some of the things will shift a little bit. So, for instance, if you take a look at the top row, second item from the right, you've got the airship or the floater. So what you're going to see first is the floater that will then turn into the airship. You got the tail. After the tail's turned into Bahamut, that tail will turn into Bahamut to let you know they've class changed. But my favorite addition, if you take a look at the very, very bottom right, Will, what is that?
That is a brand new button. It's called Go Mode. It's pedal to the metal, foot on the gas, time to try and win a match, win a game, win it for your team, score points, destroy the Ultimate Fiend Chaos, because that Ultimate Fiend sent those 4 fiends ahead in time to destroy you, and you need to destroy him. There's a lot of talk about exactly what Go Mode is, and we kind of have come to at least a settlement, certainly me and you, Falconic. It's a means to the end, might be the way that I put it. All access to all fiends. You would need the rod, the chime, the cube, Oxiale, and the loot and the mystic key. And that's kind of what we're looking at to establish really a go mode and a clear path to potential victory.
Correct. Yeah. Do you have the items that allow you to get to the fiends to light the orbs? And afterwards, do you have the key and the loot? But otherwise, go mode's pretty simple in this game. I know it's a lot of games use that terminology. This one is no different. If you're able to get to the end of the game right now, you're in go mode. If you are missing an item, but you know where it is, you're close to go mode, but you're not quite there yet.
Exactly. Yeah, and that has happened. We had multiple times in the tournament where some people forgot the caravan could have the bottle that was required. Some people went into the Mirage Tower without the cube. Those things happen. Getting back to tonight with the new tracker and on the eve of Final Fantasy Randomizer League Season 2. Incentivized locations tonight for Stage 1. Castle Ordeal. Locked Canaria. What I think the most when I see that, Falconic, is the Ice Cave is not incentivized. When do you ever even consider really going there?
No, not until the very end, and that's only if I'm struggling. Lack of ribbons, a good weapon for your fighter that you're going to be missing out on. Otherwise, no. If it's not incentivized, there's really no reason to go there, unless you're just thinking that maybe there's a little bit of a gamble there. Maybe one of your key items is kind of hidden away in one of those chests, and you don't think your opponent's going to go for it, because that place is deadly.
It could be. Yeah, and the only time I could think of it was if I had felt that I had checked so much of the game that maybe I wanted to go there, looking for maybe a ruby.
Possibly, yeah.
Possibly, but highly, highly unlikely. The tail is also incentivized here for stage 1. The fetch quests are not shuffled, so the crown will lead ultimately to the crystal, the herb, and eventually to the mystic key. So it will be very straightforward. And I would say these matches are going to be very execution heavy.
I think so as well. These are going to really favor those who know how to route, who know exactly where their key items are going to be picked up from, and who's going to be able to kind of group their things together. So maybe you don't go to the dwarf cave right away when you get the TNT. Maybe you wait till you have the adamant and the key so that it can all be wrapped up into one trip.
Looks like our players just might be ready after the false start. At least it gave us certainly a chance to go ahead and talk about the league, talk about a little bit about tonight, show off our tracker. We'll see if we can get Czar in here and back from all his traffic duty. It looks like they're ready, Falconic.
Looks like they're ready and we're starting up. Welcome back, Czar.
Yes, thank you for everything that you do for this community, Zardia. And a good example was what just happened. Just took a few minutes to go ahead and clean it up and get these players back on the road on the eve of Final Fantasy Randomizer League Season 2. Hours and hours from now, we just had a team sign up because they want to play too. They are the game changers. I can't wait to watch them. But right now is the last televised match, more than likely one of the last matches for practice before tomorrow night. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Time. October 1st, Monday night, right here on the Randomania family of networks.
It looks like we are starting up here, so let's take a look and see how these spells look, if they're going to be just as friendly as last time, or I guess I should say unfriendly.
Life was locked this time in slot 2. I guess it's better. Definitely better. Life in slot 2, Fade in slot 3, Red Mage learnable, Night learnable.
It may not learnable, so that's going to be good for a TOF, kind of clear out some packs of enemies there early, but...
Temper and Fast are also very good. You got some decisions to make here. Fade is going to be your attack spell. Temper and Fast, I would think?
Temper and Fast for sure. It's a little bit unfortunate that that's on the same level for the Black Mage early, but again, you've got the Black Mage, the Red Mage, and you're going to have the Thief that can pick that up. So you're going to have plenty of people that can kind of alternate Fast and Tempers. So very good to have that early.
I'd like to remind you that there are 7 new players in this match. Off stream, we've got SVJ, St. Von Jester, Tiny Fairy, very involved in the development in our community recently. A wonderful, wonderful young lady. And Leggy Starscream is in this as well. We're going to be updating you on a Tiny Fairy and SVJ and all the off-stream shenanigans as we go along. And Neon is the first to use a tent right outside the Temple of Fiends, resets, likes the walk, going in for some treasure chests. First one to get out of Canaria.
Yeah, making great use of that power reset. She saw that right off the bat. You got quite a few steps off the reset. So first thing she did, bought that one tent, put it right outside there. She's going to be able to go right in. Picks up a Zeus Gauntlet early. How do you like seeing that AoE item magic that early?
Awesome. I mean, AoE, just add that to the list. You could give that to, I would think, the Thief. Uh-oh. Damage poison from the Imp's wife's Kiyu. And he's got to reset his whole party. He didn't save.
He didn't save.
Oh, un-veteran move. Kiyu will probably never make this mistake again. Falconic, I've done it.
You've done it. I've done it.
We did it last night.
I can't imagine that at some point that hasn't happened to you as well, though, right? I think I've seen it happen to him, honestly. Renaming the party here. I bet you one of the first things that Kiyu does is save the game and make sure that he's got that progress aid. Floater from the princess.
Oh boy.
So early floater.
Oh boy.
I don't know that we saw what came from the king yet.
Canoe.
At least I didn't see. Oh, we have a jet seat on our hands.
A Zeus Gauntlet early. You can give that to the Thief. The Thief can have some attack power early, and you're given the canoe and the floater. It's a lot of people would call this go mode right now. We don't call it that by definition. At least I certainly don't. but we're getting close already.
Yeah, definitely not anywhere near the term of go mode just yet. But man, I would say you've got transportation. You can bet that a lot of these runners are going to make their way towards Provoca after they clear out this beginning area, and they're going to make their way down past Crescent Lake, maybe even skip Crescent Lake, maybe get a save there. But just as soon as you can get in the air, it really kind of kickstarts the seed for you.
Absolutely, so many options, almost too many options, but that is okay. Neon Gray is the first to take advantage of the free bridge that is back here for the league in Season 2. Neon Gray heads north, heads toward Provoca. I can only think of a stop-off, pick up some level 2 magic, take out the pirates, and then get in the air as soon as possible.
I would check out the magic shops at level 2 for sure. Pirates will give you good XP. You're going to get maybe a level or 2 off of them. I would check out the item shop, check for the vendor item, and then make sure to check up on some save items because you have a trek ahead of you trying to make your way down to Rayacon Desert.
Zardia, would you ever consider going clockwise at all in this type of environment?
With early canoe and floater, very unlikely. There would have to be some nasty enemy sets around Astos, Elfland, for me to consider, some nasty enemy sets around Provoca and the back way to Crescent Lake instead of vice versa, for me to alter that route. Because with early canoe and floater, you want to get to Provoca, get the key item, and then get to your airship as soon as possible.
Yeah, in this case, I don't know how you feel about it, but I think the rarer play is to go counterclockwise, to go down around Northwest Castle, and then hitting up Elfland, and then to Crescent Lake. It's a longer trek. When you've already seen that you've got floater and canoe, goal number 1, just like Zar said, get in the air now.
Get in the air. I often call it the status quo. Change the status quo and make that happen. The only way I ever usually think, and we're all in agreement, is in floor and entrance shuffle, which we've had a few, showings of here and there, and that would give you 5 entrances as opposed to 4. Could be coming up, maybe even in the next tournament. Who knows? Kiyu takes out Garland just a few minutes behind. Not bad at all. Picks up the canoe and floater and gets that information that he's got to like seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like Kiyu is going to be making the way. We're going to find out, are they going to go west? Are they going to go east? They have the information. They know they've got their floater and their canoe, but maybe they make the decision that they want to see level 3 spells. Maybe they want to check out what's in the Dwarf Cave 2 chests there. Who knows?
Because sometimes naturally, I want to start going counterclockwise because you know what I mean, right? With all the entrance and floor shuffle that we do in our testing and the other futures work that we do, and sometimes I just naturally want to go that way, but I just don't see any way you can do it here. Meanwhile, Neon Gray has taken out the pirates, talked to Bicky, and Bicky handed over an instrument.
Bicky handed over the loot, I do believe, there. So there's one of our key items for what will be go mode once we unlock the path to all the fiends. So definitely something you'd like to get out of the way early. It doesn't really help you too much right now, considering you really don't need it till the very end of the game. But one of the things that you definitely don't want to go without for too long. Nice to see it early, I guess.
No. Neon Gray, probably our on-stream leader at this point in time. We can tell you that off-stream, St. Von Jester is firing up the airship and is in the air. So it seems that all players are at different, little different parts here are following the same, except for Kiyu, who might want...
Kiyu's going west.
Yeah, he's going west. Okay.
LCB in chat had a question. Does anything encourage you to see Matoya, or is it just gut feelings? Will, I think you might agree with me on this one. We talked about it during the build-up here while we were regrouping. You really want to try your best in some of these faster seeds to not double or triple dip things along the way. And you know you're going to be coming back to Matoya potentially, actually you will because of the flag sets here, to turn in the crystal. So maybe going out of your way for the chest now isn't such a good idea, but who knows? Maybe something is in the chest there that's going to help you. So it is a gamble. But...
yeah, there could be. I mean, there could be, another AoE item, Light Act, maybe. But I would definitely consider going there, and more than likely would go there if we were starved on money. If those 3 chests in the Temple of Fiends yielded a soft potion, an iron gauntlet and an iron shield, and magic was perhaps scarce, and I was low on money, I would potentially look to those 3 chests so that I could make sure that I got some sort of level 2 magic, and more importantly, camping equipment to get to the Ryukon Desert, which Neon Gray does and is our first of our featured runners in the air.
All of a sudden, transportation not so bad. We're looking at sub 8-minute flying. I don't know that it gets any faster than that. So we're going to get our check here for the vendor item, and it is not in Crescent Lake. It was not in Provoca, so that is still out in the wild, and we're going to find out here shortly. Cat Doctor makes their way to Provoca and is starting to go down. They're going to be picking up their floater here in no time.
Mm-hmm. Neon Gray is visiting the Circle of Sages, and Czar, what is going on? They're not in a circle.
It seems the sages have gained access to the herb somehow.
Yes, but they hand over the cube. They're keeping the herb. We don't know where that is yet. We'll find out eventually. Actually, I'm pretty sure I know who has it. Confused old men, much like shuffled trap tiles. We're gonna see that in each and every match at the stage of the league coming up. That starts tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Randomania. And you know what Randomania is, Falconic?
I would say it's the destination for all things random.
Your home for all the randomizers. I like that. I like yours too.
A little bit of a play on words from your standard variation there. Here's a question for both of you here real quick as we kind of get things going here. Do either of you Dan any of these characters with this flag?
A Hydra might Dan them for you like Neon Gray just got.
The only Dan I would consider here is the Thief, of course. Considering they suck up a lot of experience, but you kind of have to weigh that against the extra ability to escape, get you through dungeons faster. So trap tiles also could be important depending on the enemy stats, hit points, things of that nature, but I think Thief would be the #1 Dan.
I think I agree with you there. If anyone were to go down, I think it would be the Thief. And speaking of going down, it looks like Neon Gray just ran into those Hydras, and here we are back at the entrance to the river.
The Kiyu, by virtue of his routing, has hit the level 3 and 4 magic shops. Exit, Cure 4, level 3 magic. There's Lightning 3, Ice 3. I didn't see if Lamp was available. That's another favorite spell of a lot of players. It looks like I couldn't quite tell the slots though. I think Exit was Red Mage in a 3rd slot in 3. We'll see that coming up real quick.
That's okay because level 2 had Warp. And you got your Red Mage and your Black Mage that can learn that. The Thief, when they class change to the Ninja, is going to be able to learn it. So not as good as Exit, but when you got that many people that can cast it, it might as well.
Once again, a big thank you to Randomania for hosting us, to you the fans for bringing us into your home tonight. Edgeworth, the champion of the 2018 Spring Tournament. He's doing the restreaming tonight, chipping in with all the help. Mr. Versetti of Team Vorpal, he is the godfather. He is taking care of the tracking, along with Elastoid, another player that used to play in these matches, graduated previously, and Moist Mogwai, all the work that she's done, as this is the final new player match that we'll have, at least for the season, at least, I would certainly think. And then we'll take a look at it later, I would certainly think, Czar, and if we want to do it again and we have the players, I think we'll probably do it again.
I agree. I think it may even be inevitable.
I get the feeling that we're going to pull in a lot of fresh faces here with this this upcoming league. We've got, what now, is that 56 players? We just added an extra team here from the 56 that were together. I think it's going to work out pretty well. Speaking of which, one of the favorite things that we had last tournament were the polls, and it looks like I spot a poll from Czar there in chat about voting for the FFR mascot. So definitely take a look there, put your vote in. Let's see if we can figure out who the mascot's going to be.
Oh, mascots already. Big thumbs up to Kiyu here, lower right-hand corner of your screen. I was out of town yesterday, and Kiyu had gotten involved with the community. I didn't quite catch it. And he steps out and wants to play, and here he is on stream all of a sudden, and that takes a lot of guts. And so big thumbs up. Go get him, Kiyu. It's gonna take a while to learn. Just wait till you have to play someone like Fuchsia Fantasy. But big thumbs up. You stay at it, and good on you.
Yeah, we've said this time and time again, but really the best way to get involved is to just get involved. To just show up in Discord, say hey, get yourself set up. We're going to help you get set up, by the way, and then just get out there. Maybe you lose your first 10 matches, and that's fine. You're going to have fun. Maybe it'll be a little frustrating like it was for me at the first couple of races there, but you know what? You turn it around, you get better, you learn from it. But you make friends along the way, and you're all the better for it. So I don't think I've met a single person that's joined the community, truly a single person, that after a week or two said, this isn't for me.
I've never thought about that, and I haven't either. Wow. Never
I think
quite thought of that.
it's a testament to the people that we have in this community for sure. So it looks like Cat Doctor just hit Sarda. Did you catch what Sarda had?
The crown.
The crown. All right.
But Neon Gray has made it to Sarda. Picks up their crown. A couple of different options here. We talked about this earlier, Falconic. I mean, you get in the air, there's almost too many options. I, right now, would turn that crown in and do the quest as soon as possible to get my hands in the Mystic Key and evaluate my situation. What about you?
I would as well. With the airship, that becomes a no-brainer in my mind. Without the airship, doing that quest is one of the last things on my list. But getting the key and having access to all the key lock chests right away, very, very top of my list of priorities for sure.
Speaking of that status quo change, Kiyu in the lower right-hand corner has got the airship. Who's new now? 14 minutes flying in the air. I love it. Directly to Crescent Lake, where he's going to pick up his cube and start to progress a little bit more in this game as well. Cat Doctor fighting Astos. Neon Gray's about to fight Astos and do what it was that we would have done. Zar, would you make this play as well?
I think so. Given what has happened so far, I think this is a solid play, and I think that it's probably the high percentage play.
We've got a sighting in the chat room. The Emerald City Saint has joined us. It is Will Bloodworth. An absolute pleasure to see you, my friend. We'll have a little promotion coming up in just a little bit that involves Will Bloodworth. A little bit of a tease until we can gather more information. We'll just go ahead and tease it for right now, but we're going to have a lot of fun here in Final Fantasy Randomizer, as well as a lot of fun for the League Season 2 with the 50-some players and the meme team and the Lit Warrior team. It's going to be an absolute blast. Cat Doctor makes his way north to the Cardia Islands. Did not do the Mystic Key quest.
A little surprising, but some people, and again, we talked about this, trying to route in things so you don't have to double dip. If the tail's here, then this works out. And if the tail's not here, then somebody's going to be making their way back over here to do the class change later. If they class change at all, maybe they don't. But yeah, I think the crown play was probably the better one, and you'll find that the only way to get better is to watch back the videos and see how other people did it. Maybe next time Cat Doctor does that play.
Back in the last tournament, I asked the reigning champion at the time, Crystal MTG, if he could take one item, and that was the only one item, really key item, I guess you could say, not the rod or anything like that, but something like an opal bracelet, to the end, and that was all. What it was that he would choose. I'd like to pose that question to yourself, Falconic, and to you, Zardia. What key item would you choose?
Is it just one?
Just one.
If it's just one, I think the man. Well, the obvious answer, the best answer, and Zar's definitely going to agree with me. So I'll speak for both of us on this this part. It's definitely the Vorpal.
Oh yeah.
For swords. You definitely have to have some way of doing damage. If you're talking about armor, Ribbon, like we just saw on Cat Doctor's screen here in the Cardia Isles. Ribbon on your life caster, I think definitely goes a long way towards ensuring that you're going to live through a lot of the deadly stuff, unless, you know, Kraken 2 reaches out and hugs you with the melee attacks. Besides the Vorpal, those are... What's your answer? What do you think?
Well, I definitely agree with the Ribbon. The Vorpal gives you that crit weapon near the end. Aside from that, it's obviously situational, but I think the highest on the list would probably have to be Mass Immune.
Mass Immune to throw onto, I see what you're saying, to throw on the White Mage, which we don't have here today, so throwing on the Black Mage is probably good as well. I would think, you know, Opal Bracelet is probably another smart answer, just because it goes on to so many classes. Has very, very high absorb without putting too much of an evasion penalty on. So yeah, Vorpal, Mazmoon, Cat Claw for your Black Wizards. There's just so many answers.
The biggest security blanket is basically what you're looking for.
All right, as all our players are really doing the rounds here, Mr. Key Quest, gathering some chests, gathering really information. equipment. That way you can assess what dungeon do you want to go in first. Is it access to warp and exit? Is it the volcano? Is it Castle Orderos? Where are you going first, Falconic, given what we have so far?
Well, I'm a huge fan of doing the volcano because of the amount of chests that you have access to on those first 2 floors. Maybe your intention isn't to dive the entire thing, but you do have warp. I think it's a quick check. A very good chance to pick up some early armor. Maybe find that Mazmoon that'll carry you until you can class change and wield the 2-handed Vorpal.
Vorpal, yeah.
Yeah, I think Volcano is the right play here. You have a ton of chests there. They're not too hard to get to. You have some lava damage tiles, so you can kind of avoid encounters. After you clear the armor, you have the choice of continuing to dig Volcano, or I think Ice Cave is probably the next high percentage play. You have Warp available. What do you think, chat? Which fiend do you think we're going to see first?
Kiyu has entered the volcano. We can tell you that off stream, both players are in the air as well. A Tiny is working on things. St. Von Jester has the tail. So the tail is somewhere. I believe that's accessible. That's off stream. St. Von Jester has class changed off stream, so
Wow.
I don't know where he got that, but that could be a significant advantage for SVJ. I'll keep a tab on it and see if we can find it. Cat Doctor has chosen Castle Ordeal.
Not a bad play.
Good play. Good. I like it.
Very good for getting good early levels. There's not too many variations of enemies you're going to run into. Oftentimes, you don't take too many fights in here. The trap tiles might be deadly, but good for gaining those early levels. You'll often see runners go in there as early as level 6, 7, 8. So.
Yeah, with Warp available, Ordeal should be pretty quick.
The hairpin chest has a ribbon. You just got it. I skip that one a lot. I rarely personally check that when I have the controller in my hands. Potential advantage for Kiyu later in the game. You don't know what's coming up. Those fiends are visited. The fiend refights. Bane, Zap, Crack. That ribbon's going to help you a lot with that. Potential extra ribbon for Kiyu. Nice find.
So that's 2 ribbons that we found out of 3. We got the hairpin and volcano. We've got the Cardia Isles. That alone, 2 ribbons. I'm comfortable there. If I find a third, of course, you love it. It's great. But 2 means that question you asked me earlier of do I go to Ice Cave if it's not incentivized?
Nope.
No, not anymore. Not unless the weapons aren't looking too good. But armor-wise, I'm pretty happy.
Neon Gray uses the Mystic Key and that incentivized location that we talked about in the pregame. Canaria locked, the original TNT test. It's the slab that is required. It is going to be translated in Melmond, and it will give you the chime. The fetch quests are not shuffled. You're going to need that as a path to get to the Temple of Fiends Revisited and go back 2,000 years in time.
So I think the only thing that I'd have on my list of, what I want to find, of course, Mazmoon, you've got the Vorpal that you want to see. The 3rd ribbon, you're going to keep an eye out for sure. But I think now you're looking for the smaller things, the Aegis Shield, the Pro Capes, the Opal Bracelets, maybe some gold bracelets for sale somewhere.
Power bonk.
Kiyu has the Dragon Armor.
Add that to the list. That's another fantastic one with the Knight. So
you guys, both yourself, Czar and Falcani, you talked about the volcano here. I like the volcano too. I definitely like the Ordeals as well. That's what Cat Doctor did. It looks like Volcano might be the play here. He used and got out of there. Now he's saving, spent all his money, and I like the play here from a player that, gosh, I know nothing about, and I usually know a lot about it. So, Kiyu, making a play here.
Yeah, just brand new to the community, but for all we know, they could be a shark. Maybe they're coming in here with years and years and years of experience. Who knows? Certainly doesn't look too rusty yet. They took the Western counterclockwise. We were kind of talking about would you do that, would you not? But they were flying within 5 minutes of everyone that went clockwise, so not too much of a time loss, and here we sit, I would say almost neck and neck, making some good moves.
Cat Doctor runs into the Nightmare trap tile. The Nightmare has Thunder, and Cat Doctor just lost all the progress through Castle Ordeals. The good news is that Cat Doctor knows the path. The bad news is that Nightmare ambushed Cat Doctor.
And shows up in a lot of places.
Yep. And it got the gaze skill as well. It ambushed with the gaze skill. So it looks like Thunder is the second skill, so if you can get by or get away from that Nightmare, it shouldn't be too big of a problem. Neon Gray has made their way to Castle Ordeal now. Kiyu has re-entered the volcano, taking on Agama, getting a little bit more experience. Off-stream, SVJ has finished Castle Ordeal. I believe SVJ might be a little bit of our leader right now.
Question in chat from ICB about the Pro Cape. It does not offer death resistance like the Pro Cape. And thank you, Will Bloodworth, for being on top of that.
It's still a nice find. There's the Power Gauntlet, by the way, that we were talking about. It's still a nice find, though, because it's a shield that your mages can wear. And short of the buckler for the red mage, there's just not a lot of options for that slot on the mages. So a Pro Cape's a nice find. I believe it's 8 absorb.
Yep.
Better than nothing, right? Yep. Why hold on to a loose slot there? The real kind of juggle becomes, do you replace your, Zeus gauntlets or your mage staffs, your free item casting weapons or armor to fill up the slot with that Pro Cape? And I think it all depends on, the enemies that you're facing and how rough the sieg's been for you.
Yeah, kind of like in this match right here, the white shirt. You can't equip it, but I'll take 2 if there were 2.
Yeah, I'll take 2 for sure. Here's my best friends on Cat Doctor's screen. Hopefully able to get away from that one. Quake going off. A bunch of ineffectives on that side, though.
Oh, the Argoyles, your buddies, Falconic.
Oh. Here they are on Kiyu's side as well. They're just everywhere, and they are not fun.
Lyra taking some fights outside of Elfland here. Not quite sure exactly what Lyra's doing, but definitely got some good HP. Maybe looking for a couple bucks potentially for a spell, something along those lines. We're not quite sure. We do know that Lyra has the floater and the canoe.
And is just a minute away tops from being able to turn that in for the floater. So questioning a little bit about what's holding her back from going there just yet. Maybe there's a spell or a piece of gear that she found in Elfland that she's maybe just a couple gold short from. Maybe this is just a little bit of a grind to get that going. I'm not quite sure.
Kiyu continues to take on some Agamas, down to 2 warriors. Level 11 for those 2 warriors that are there. And that was an Agama replaced shuffled trap tile that was the fire trap tile.
Looks like chat's pointing out that Agamas have damage poison, so all of a sudden that fight that you saw early that is reproducible with the trap tile is not so enticing anymore. Bottle sighting, though. We see a bottle sighting there on Cat Doctor's screen from Ordeals. It was one of the 2 incentivized locations.
Kiyu ran into a pack of 4 Peds, and the 4 Peds absolutely obliterated Kiyu. Resets, and he's jumping back in. So our enemies aren't too friendly. The Nightmares, the Peds, the Imps were causing trouble. The Agamas have damage poison. So I guess at least it's coming early?
Yeah, I think we say this at least once per race that we commentate, Will. It sounds a little weird, but the game talks to you. The game kind of tells you how it's going to unfold. With these flags, I think when you start to see some of the deadly stuff early, to me, it almost makes you feel like, all right, so you're just front-loading everything. So you just kind of take a breath, get yourself through it, and maybe things will work out. And, as I say that, maybe the end game's even worse. So who knows?
Lyra finds out that exit is not learnable for her red mage. Either is Cure 4, but Invis 2 is. So at least there's some sort of consolation there. Kiyu picks up the Power Gauntlet yet again after the wipe. Neon Gray has maneuvered their way past the Nightmare Trap tile, about to pick up their bottle. Cat Doctor has finished Castle Ordeals. I can only think that Volcano might be next for Cat Doctor.
I think Volcano for sure. You don't have Rod, so you probably don't want to dive Earth. Again, I think with these flags, it was determined there's not going to be any loose chests because these are very similar to Swiss, if I'm not mistaken. So if that's the case, you're not going to find the Rod in Earth. You're going to find it from one of the NPCs you turn into. So I think Volcano's the play. Ice you might get gear from. Marsh you might get gear from. I don't know anyone that wants to do Marsh right now, though.
Marsh?
I've heard it exists somewhere.
Cat Doctor goes back to Northwest Castle, turning in the crown to the king of... No, it's not the king. It's the Dark Elf himself. It was Astos all along.
Oh, surprised me for sure. I thought we were just returning a crown to a king, but...
I thought him and his pet bats just were missing the crown. It was a dark elf. They were talking about him in Elfland.
Well, what can you do here?
Upstream, a tiny fairy has made her way to Castle Ordeal. So it looks like that's the preferred play for most of our players tonight, and definitely not a bad one. They've been watching, they've been studying, and they should be able to get here pretty well to get, obviously, the required bottle. Meanwhile, Kiyu, again, taking on the Agamas with damage, poison. They have, looks like they have a stun, status touch, or gaze. I would move on.
I would as well.
Yeah.
A little bit more unfriendly than I think I'd want to see here. Finding that bottle though in ordeals feels pretty good because you've got your airship and you're so close to being able to turn that in and unleashing the fairy and finding out what you're going to get from there. But yeah, you just kind of got to get yourself going in that right direction. And I don't know that I would hang outside of Elfland to take ogre fights or try to grind an Agama tile that normally is a great idea, but when you see stun and you see damage poison, questionable, but who knows?
Definitely. Lyra SRL, the Baroness of Team Vorpal, has picked up the airship, flies directly to Crescent Lake, checking out the shops, gonna go ahead and pick up her cube. She's back in this game now. Neon Gray has headed to Gaia. That's the next stop after picking up the bottle. That's a sign of really good routing and execution, which I really do think, and we talked about this earlier, Falconic, that's what I think these are all about. Execution, routing.
Well, there's our tail, by the way. Neon Gray found the tail. It's the vendor item in Gaia. And yeah, you nailed it. With these flags, routing is king. So now Neon Gray is going to turn in the bottle. We're going to see what we get here. But I can almost assure you that the next destination on Neon Gray's screen here is going to be just south and to the west just a bit. So there's the Oxtail. I guess we kind of knew that was coming. South and to the west, we're going to hit up the Cardi Isles. Going to find a ribbon there, but more importantly, going to class change with Pop.
Kiyu raiding the armory. Opal Gauntlet, the Ruby, who was in the Volcano Armory. Pretty optional here. It's not required. Probably, I can say this safely, not really ever going to be required, at least in this setup. Optional. Not a bad thing to have if you're in the area, perhaps flying over, maybe if you're going to take out Lich in the Earth Cave, maybe stop by and pick up those 4 chests. There could be, another ribbon in there, which we talked about earlier, how important even just one ribbon can be.
Ribbon, opal bracelet. There's our second incentivized location on Cat Doctor screen, Canaria Castle, where we pick up the slab. But yeah, any chest can have anything, so you might kind of tell yourself, Volcano's got a higher likelihood of having all the good items. But it could very well be that the 4 chests hidden by the Titan could be Ribbon, Mazmoon, Vorpal, and then Opal Bracelet back to back to back to back. You never know.
Oh, yeah. We'd like to welcome Leggy Starscream to the chat. A proud member of Team FriendMech was in this match a little bit earlier, but with the differing seeds now joining us in chat, so certainly thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure, Leggy Starscream. Very involved in the development going on lately. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Falconic? You've been involved with the procedural generation. What is that all about?
Well, I don't know that I'd say involved. I've been a heavy tester of it for sure. Leggy has just absolutely taken this feature by the horns and put in so much of the groundwork for it. Essentially what it is procedurally generated map creations for certain levels. Earth, floor 1, floor 2, waterfall, to where when you walk in, it's going to look like those floors as far as colors and design and walls, but the layout is completely generated by the ROM itself. It's going to steer you in different directions. Maybe there's dead ends, maybe in the waterfall and you're so used to going west, maybe you still can go west, but you're going to find a dead end and you should have gone up and to the right this time. You don't know until you get in, and it's all about kind of adjusting on the fly with what you see. So very exciting stuff.
Lyra follows the same path that most of our players did. Jumped in the air, went to Crescent Lake, picked up the cube, over to Sarda, picked up the crown, and go ahead and get that quest going. Meanwhile, Kiyu's spending a lot of time in the volcano. He's down to 1 warrior, 2 HP, and the bulls and scorpions who got me in the plan race and cost me my potential spot take out Kiyu in the volcano, but he's going to enter again. Zar, Kiyu spinning his wheels a little bit, maybe, you think?
Possibly, yes. think he's kind of trying to find some direction here. We have a request in the chat for a recap. So, the king had the canoe. Princess Sarah had the floater. The pirates had the loot. We found the TNT in Matoya's cave in a chest. The sages had the cube. Narek had the canal, vanilla. Sarda had the crown. Astos had the vanilla crystal. Matoya had vanilla herb. Elf Prince had vanilla key. The slab was in incentive corneria in the key lock. Ordeals had the bottle. We found our vendor item was the tail in Gaia. The fairy had oxyale, vanilla, and we discovered the ruby in the armory thus far.
Yeah, the ribbon was in that hairpin chest that, gosh, a lot of players skip. You knows where it is. And the other ribbon was in Cardia Islands?
Cardia Isles, correct. It was in Cardia Grassy.
We also found an early Zeus gauntlet in Temple of Fiends in the first chest, and we had an early Fade Temperate Fast at level 1 and an early level 2 Warp as well. So things are moving pretty quickly for these runners thus far.
We're going to take a moment here real quick while Cat Doctor makes his way to the volcano. Lyra has made her way, to the Canary Locked incentivized location, picks up her slab. Neon Grey is about to make a move, we would think, to a dungeon at this point in time. SVJ off stream has headed to a dungeon. It's time to get going here. It'll progress a little bit. We'd like to tell you about something that our community is working on. We're not sure exactly when. Could be as soon as Halloween. Could be sometime in December. It involves yours truly. And let's just say we're calling it the Battle of Wills. Coming up sometime soon. It's going to be a special event. Right here with one of our broadcast partners. Not sure of the date, not sure of a lot of things, but it's going to be really, really fun. It's going to be... we've got so many things lined up, a new type of broadcast ideas, and a whole bunch of other different things. Czar, you're going to be on commentary for it. We've got those sort of things lined up. And so we'll be updating you as the league goes on to that sort of special event that will be coming. We're going to call it a special challenge in the special match series. And it's going to be an absolute blast, Czar. I can't wait for the Battle of Wills.
You're making me feel pretty special here, Will, with all this special. And we have a potential mascot candidate on Neon Gray's screen, the Mud Golem.
Calvin in chat asking, will win? Will lose? Who will be playing? What else will happen? The surprise is coming up sometime soon. Could be December, could be Halloween. We're not exactly sure, but we're going to have a lot of fun with that. But right now, we'd like to remind you that tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, it's right here on the Randomania family of networks. The League Season 2. So many players, so much excitement. Here's our new player preview. We're going to put this on hold for a little while. And I think it's just more work for us, Czar. More things for us to do, and I love it. I can't wait.
It's enjoyable work. When you're enjoying the work you're doing, the quality naturally increases.
Lyra is heading to Lefane. Did Lyra translate the slab?
Well, I hope so. Last thing you want to see is Lupa Lupa Danu Danu.
Danu. I'm not sure. Lyra looking to be the first player in this match to pick up the chime, perhaps grant access to the Mirage Tower.
And that's a fantastic play as well. We talked about early the Volcano having a lot of chest density. So does Mirage, floor 1 and 2. Very easy to get in and out of. Strong play here. If that's the goal, is to dip in and out, I think I like that move quite a bit.
I do too. Cat Doctor re-enters the Volcano. Neon Grey, class changed. Picking up some spells. We got a ninja in there, level 4 black magic, some spells for the night. I like this play as well. Ice 3 and Lightning 3. Potentially bail you out in a pinch. Waters in the Sea Shrine in the future, maybe.
And that's just a good side effect of finding the tail and the airship this early and having classes that don't have a negative effect of class changing early, is that you're guaranteed to get your 4 charges on those classes by level 21, I believe it is. So no fear of missing out on those spell charges for the Knight and the Thief or the Ninja. If I'm seeing the tracker correct, if our trackers, our fantastic trackers, are on the ball here, what I'm seeing on Lyra's is that she's got the slab, but it's not in the red status, so I don't know that she's translated.
We've got a new tracker today. Lastoy, thank you for joining us. Did he catch it correctly? Did. Lyra did not translate the slab. This happened. Reset. No, that's a good move. Don't walk out and do all this hit.
There, yep.
Well, this happened 3 times, actually, to one of our finalists during the tournament. The franchise himself was looped 3 times. Hairs away from being the champion. This happens. It actually happens more often than most of us will admit. So many other things did happen as well. This happens, and it's okay. This is why you play in the new player race. This is why you practice. This is why you do it. And I can only think that, you know, hopefully it doesn't happen again. You learn from it. You move on. It's kind of like when you have the slab and translate it, and then go looking for it. Falconic.
Nobody would ever do that. But you're right. That was kind of the idea of the entire inspiration for creating this new player showcase, is to be able to put some of the new players into the environment of a race where you can make these kind of mistakes and learn from it, where you don't have to feel so intimidated that, you know, this is a league or a tournament or this is a legitimate race against all the veterans. This is where you come to play against equal level opponents, where you know that you're gonna learn, you're gonna be able to pick this up, and then you can go back and watch it later. Maybe you won and you're watching to see maybe there was some time saves. Maybe you didn't win and you want to just see how the person that won took their routing on that same seat. So if you're gonna make a mistake, now's the time, and hopefully you make it again.
And you're gonna make mistakes, believe me. Czar, actually, I think a good example might have been our match. First round, my first ever tournament match. Myself and Zardia played, and I made a little boo-boo. To where I had the floater and decided to canoe and ship around. It's a long story, we won't get into it. But it allowed Zardia to open up quite the lead on me. And then ZaRNG took over, a death touch Tiamat, knocked out Zardia and neutralized essentially the entire game. So you kind of tend to learn, you don't want to make a mistake in a tournament match, you want to do it now. And even if you do something like that, even if it is a mistake or just maybe a slip up, you can come back from it. You can. Anything can happen here. You don't know what spells enemies have or what other mistakes someone else might make, or ZaRNG could have.
That's true. That was a classic race. These tournament races heavily come down to execution. I would say execution plays a bigger role than luck, at least towards, you know, most of the game. At the end, luck can come into play with the gatekeepers, but you can save a ton of time just on execution alone, as Tristal has displayed many times.
High Spirits in his menuing, unbelievable. High Spirits blew me away the first time I saw him with his menuing. I thought I was Tristal. Very little things. Ikben Maya, very strong in menuings. Forzando is in there. Edgeworth, obviously, as well, the champion. And little things like that that you can work on in your own time or in something like this can make all the difference in execution.
This unrunnable seafood pack is giving Cat Doctor some big issues in the volcano here. Not the place he'd be looking for this pack, but due to our wonderful devs and the Trap Tile Shuffle, we see them.
Yeah, if you're gonna see an unrunnable, that's probably the one lowest on my list of no, please, no, no, thank you.
Could be something to watch for in Temple of Fiends Water 4 later, although Light 3 appeared to get through them quite easily.
Yeah, it didn't seem too bad, but not fun to see.
Off stream, a tiny fairy has class changed, picking up some spells. No orbs lit quite yet. We haven't had any orbs lit at this point. We're at the 41-minute mark. In games that we've seen, Zar, we're seeing players the caliber of Fuchsia Fantasy. They're beating it out in this seed. At what point do you know, I gotta get some orbs here. I mean, that's another status quo that we gotta change and get them going. At 41 minutes, time to go?
I think so. A lot of the runners have made the rounds now. They've hit Cardia, they've hit a lot of the open chests, followed up on the key chests. I think it is time to head for that Fiend now, and it looks like Cat Doctor is doing so.
Yeah, I think you definitely want to get orbs as early as possible here. With a jet seed, 40 minutes is starting to push where you kind of expect to see it, but as long as up until then you have been checking off the things that have to get done at some point anyways, I don't know that I feel too bad about hitting 40 minutes without a Fiend, but I had better have had everything else checked off the list by then. You know, getting the key quest turn in, the bottle, class changing, buying the spells, all those types of things. That's fine if that's what you've been doing, but it's about time to put the pedal to the metal and get going.
Neon Gray gets the dragon armor. Neon Gray is checking the hairpin chest. Huge move for Neon Gray here. Veteran move. Doesn't know it, but they are about to pick up a ribbon, and that could be huge for Neon Gray coming up if they can get through the Agama trap tile.
Kiyu at the bottom right, making a small move here that you typically don't see new players using. Holding the B button in a room where they know that there's trap tiles that they might not want to step into, just to slow that walk speed down and get the safe tile. Small move, but I think it shows a little bit more of an experience than we might expect from somebody brand new to the community.
Leave. Inzar, did Cat Doctor wipe in the volcano?
They did. They were steps away from Carrie and baned, so that could be kind of scary. I did not see what baned them, but I imagine it was probably a red giant, maybe?
Red giants usually ones that come in there.
Carry in these types of flags, often we see carries the first fiend tackled by a lot of the runners here, so I think at the very least these runners have been doing their homework. They've watched a few matches. Of course, carries the only fiend that doesn't have a requirement to get to, so it's kind of an obvious play to do, but for somebody newer to the game, maybe they don't know that. Maybe they dive into Earth and hit the rod block, or they don't have the Oxale and they go to on-rack, things like that. So I would expect here within the next 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to see at least one, maybe two runners light that first orb.
Question from Noctis in chat. Welcome, by the way, Noctis. Always a pleasure when we see you, especially late at night when you join us. How many ribbons have been located? 2. One of them, often skipped, is in the volcano in the hairpin chest. Neon Gray just got it, and there's a free one in the Cardia Islands. The more pressing issue that I'm seeing, other than the orbs that we just talked about, weapons. No sign of the versatile Mazmoon, the endgame weapon, the game changer. We do see some katanas when we do have a ninja available. That's good. Lyra's got one. Neon Gray's got one. No sign of the adamant to yield the Excalibur. I have not seen a defense sword. So that issue is looming larger as those seconds tick away.
With Sun Sword available in Power Bonk, that is an option, but you might have to weigh that against the extra critical of the katana as well. Do you give the bonk to the knight with the Sun Sword? Do you give the bonk to the ninja with the katana?
It's a decision for sure. I think I would tend to lean more towards the knight because of the inherent strength statistic that he has. The Sun Sword is not a bad sword at all. 4th, 5th best sword in the game. With Power Bonk, I mean, anything can be made great with enough Power Bonks onto it, but I think in that one I'm going with the knight.
I like the knight too, but my reasoning is actually just a little bit different. HP. Higher HP to survivability.
So I'm a little bit surprised, and again, we talked about this, a little surprised we have not seen a dive yet into Mirage. Now, of course, Volcano, we said was the obvious answer, and we have seen a couple dives into there. But Mirage, that's one of the ones that I really, really like. We said Ordeals is a good early play because it can help you gain those early levels, and Volcano is good because you can get the early items. Mirage combines both of those. You can get levels and has a large density of chest to get items, so really one of my favorite places to go early. But we haven't seen it yet.
Magius joins us in the chat of the Magius Passage in what we call extended open progression, one of the new that we have on our alpha website. I believe it's in beta as well. Magius right there, the gentleman right there, made that happen. It was his idea. We named it after him.
Yep, not often you come up with an idea and get to name it as well, but anytime you take the walk from the Dwarf Cave down to Elfin without your canoe on extended open progression, you have one person to thank for that, at least for the idea, and that's Magius. Welcome, Magius. Chat.
Once again, we'd like to thank Randomania for hosting us tonight. Edgeworth taking time out of his Champions schedule to do the restreaming, and Mr. Versetti Elastoid jumping in on the crew, helping us out, doing all the commentary. Certainly the leader of Team Vorpal, Hannibal, Zardia joining myself, and the Enforcer Falconic. I'm Will Cleosis. Absolute pleasure to be here tonight on the eve of the spring, excuse me, the, so he's saying spring tournament, of the league season 2. 8 stages, be about 7 or 8 weeks until right around Thanksgiving. Team play, individual play, whole lots of fun, whole lots of excitement, whole lots of players, and it's going to be chaotic, and I can't wait for it. Starts tomorrow, 8 p.m. right here, Eastern Time, right here on Randomania.
Still not too late to sign up as well. Whether you're doing the solo like you mentioned, or if you're going to find 3 friends and create a team at the last moment. We had one just merely an hour ago sign up. So if you like what you're actually seeing on screen now is a preview of Stage 1. It's what's going to be on display starting tomorrow. So if you think you've got what it takes, you want to just join in on the fun, make some friends, have some laughs, do it. Come join us, have some fun, hang out in Discord.
Everybody's going to the party, Falconic.
Are they
have a real good time?
Having a real good time? Yeah, I thought you were going to say that.
Neon Grey's hovering right around level 17, I believe, on all 4 Light Warriors. Steps away from the floor of the Fiend of Fire. Carry on the floor. You checking the red D chest here, or are you passing on this one, Falconic?
I normally check the red D chest,
No.
provided that the trap tiles in front of it aren't bad. I don't know that I like it on this one because we've already seen, for one, Bane just steps away from carry. I think if it's me on this seed, this flag, I'm in and out. Straight to carry. If I have to come back later, I will, but at that point I'll have levels. No, I'm skipping it.
Czar, is that an Ikbin Maya with a gift in chat?
Sure looks like it. I believe Maya likes to party as well, or at least likes parties. What do you think about Lyra here at the top right of your screen here? Found a trap tile in TOF, the top right room. It was mud goals, 2 to 3 mud goals. Spent a couple minutes getting levels there. Is that a fight that you typically see for XP?
Early in the game, if you can use it, I don't see a problem with using it. In this environment, at the 49-minute mark, I gotta get moving. I gotta get moving. She's level 14. I like, that's not bad.
Yeah.
You know, Neon Grey, level 16, 17 now, about to take on carry. That's okay. Kiyu is hungry. But the Tyro eliminates Dave, and Dave went plop. A big hit from the dinosaur.
Pretty big. Neon Grey at that same time just pulled carry, so we're going to see how much of an issue this first orb is going to be to light.
We can tell you that the Mirage Tower has been entered. It's off stream. SVJ, St. Von Jester, has entered the Mirage Tower. We'll see if we can get an update on potential orbs. We do believe right now our leader is off stream, and it is St. Von Jester.
So we're seeing all sorts of strategy from Neon Grey here, though. You've got the power balance going off. Carry 7 hits. 7 hits, not the slightest amount we've ever seen, but with a power bonk and the quad 6 or the triple 6 damage coming from the knight there, lights that fire orb. I don't know. That fight could prove a little bit more difficult for other members if Carry decides to spread out that damage.
Yeah, remember that race we had? It was we've done so many of these, Falcon. Remember that one where Carry 1 took out more players than players took out Carry 1?
Oh yeah, more than a dozen, more than a baker's dozen whites on Carry 1, just absolutely obliterated. You can't take these initial fiends lightly. You never know what the seeds decide to throw at you. They could have damage poison, they could have thunder, they could have blizzards, they could have all that, but they could also just roll really high with number of hits and crit percentage.
Lord Fizzlebeef told me one day not to take Lich seriously ever. But that's what he told me, Lord Fizzlebeef.
Yeah, he's known for spreading rumors though, so
yeah, he does that.
I don't know that I trust it too much.
His name is Lord Fizzlebeef.
Huh.
Super Red Jack joining us in chat. Thank you very much. SRJ joined us last night, Falconic, for some of our playtesting. So always a pleasure to see you, SRJ. Thank you for joining us tonight here on Randomania. Kiyu is turning in the tail that was the vendor item over in Gaia. Gonna go ahead and class change. Gonna be able to equip that dragon armor. Kind of line up a potential endgame run coming up here. Cat Doctor is our first player to use the Oxio and enter the Sea Shrine. Runs into those unrunnable Red Sags and Wizard Sags, which I don't see changing anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about going Sea Shrine before at least initial Mirage? Um, you got the cube. You could potentially go all the way through Mirage, clear out Sky as well. Sea just scares me this early. What about you?
You've got a Zeus Gauntlet
Mm-hmm.
for free Lightning 2 hits. You've got Lightning 3 fairly early, except for when you get ambushed by ghosts and they start to pound you and paralyze you.
Stun touch ghost.
Ugh. Good thing there was only 2 of them. Cat Doctor gets away with that though. Definitely got the information. You know what? I'm a Sea Shrine guy first. You know what? I don't know. I'm 50-50. If I had to, I would pick Sea Shrine, based upon a Zeus Gauntlet, a Lightning 3, access to spells. More than likely, I'd probably go that way. Czar, you're actually more experienced than both of us. What about you? The answer is depends usually, but oh, there's the Adamant. Okay, that Adamant's gonna turn the Excalibur. It's in the Mermaids. So do you go Mermaids? We'll get to that in just a second. Czar, Mirage or Sea Floor first? Sea Shrine.
I think it's heavily dependent on your current spell selection. Mirage is usually faster, but you can get up to Upper Sea Shrine pretty quick. There's a defense sword as well, so
Oh boy.
quite profitable there. It really comes down to, you know, do you want to gamble? If you go to Sea Upper Floor, then you probably want to do Sea Lower Floor. If you go to Mirage, you can usually do Mirage and then get out, save, and then go into Sky. But with Sea, it's kind of a one-trick pony.
So, Will, you touched on it there just for a second. So you make the decision to go Mirage versus going Sea Shrine. And then if you choose to go Sea Shrine, then the question is, do you go Mermaids first or do you go left side first? And I think, at least in my opinion, you almost always go left. And then if you don't find what you're looking for, you go right. But in this case, I would be wrong.
Left. Yeah, me too. You took the words out of my mouth. I would have gone straight to Kraken. I would have picked a couple chests along the way, but I would have gone straight to Kraken and had calamari for dinner. But we would have been wrong, definitely on this one. And going back to the original question, levels can really be attained in the Floating Fortress and in the Mirage Tower, and more spell charges you have going in there, more potential levels, easier to potentially get through the Mirage and the Floating Fortress, and going through Sea Shrine first for me would allow me to potentially attain, you know, those few more levels, few more casts of that to potentially take out those enemies. Neon Gray picks up the Chime. Neon Gray is available to get into the Mirage Tower.
I like it. We'll see. You're in the area. And again, this is when you start to get a little bit of some of these races and seeds under your belt. What initially starts off as shaving minutes off of your run starts to become shaving seconds off of your run. And one of the things that you'll often find once you get down to that kind of that level of improving your game is small things. Picking up the Chime here in Lefane, and you already have the cube, and you're already right next to Mirage Tower. Do you want to try to group all that up together, kind of break the world up into quadrants and just knock out those quadrants as you go? So, knowing that, and I think with my my love of the Mirage Tower for levels and items, I think that the smart play here would be to go ahead and just go right over to that desert land and make your way through. But we'll see how they want to play it.
Kiyu re-enters his favorite place in the world. It is the Gurgu Volcano. Lyra SRL has entered the Gurgu Volcano. She's about to pick up her dragon armor. If she can get through the Agama Trap Tile, there's a ribbon in there as well. Neon Gray heads to, I think it's called the Great Desert?
Is it the Great Desert?
Czar, anybody? Chat, Will Bloodworth, Shalasia? I know the Ryukon Desert is where you get the airship, but I think the Great Desert. Maybe we'll look that up.
I'll have to look that up here. I'm staring at a original FF1 map, and it just has it listed as the Mirage Tower. Maybe I'll have to dive into the player's handbook and see if it doesn't list what it is there.
5 vampires for Neon Gray. They have to like to see that. They all go down to 1 fade. If there was a power reset or something outside, could be something maybe take a couple extra ones with. Maybe if you enter and re-enter. But 5 vampires going down to 1 fade is very, very good.
100%, and that's the kind of thing that you want to look for here, because fights like that exist if they roll on the easy side, and like you just mentioned, you can manipulate that with a power reset. Really, the only thing that you need to make this truly a perfect scenario is a decent stock of houses. to be able to go out, reset your magic, come right back in here. You're getting chests and you're getting levels. And I think you'll learn as you start to play the game more and more, it's all about doing more than one thing at once. You want to be progressing and getting levels. You never want to stop and just do the one if you can help it. And I think this is a great thing to see with those vampires there.
Multitask.
Yeah.
There it is at once. Saint Von Jester is in offstream, is in the floating fortress, tearing that thing apart. I like Cat Doctor here, Falconic. The play on the mermaids. It's going to yield him the Excalibur, the defense sword. I think Cat Doctor is definitely progressively behind, but with one ribbon, access to 2 for some other players, I like Cat Doctor's position, and this is a scenario where Cat Doctor could be ahead, even though he's behind. Maybe.
You could make the argument for sure. Absolutely can make the argument. Of course, Neon Gray, the only runner on stream here that has the orb lit. I think if I were to pick, I'm giving the slight edge to Neon Gray.
Yeah. Okay.
But we'll see. 2 ribbons versus the 1 over on Cat Doctors. Looks like they've got the item lead as well. They're knocking out. There's a black shirt, by the way, knocking out all these chests. Yeah, I think I'm going with Neon Gray, but Cat Doctor, you said it. Some people just choose to do the water or the sea shrine above. There's opal armor as well. Above doing Mirage, and it could pay out. We'll have to find out.
Looks like Neon Gray found the black shirt here in Mirage. Interesting note on the shirts. When you get the class change, your white and black wizard can equip the white and black shirt, and the absorb is comparable to the gold bracelet. However, the shirts also offer resistances that the bracelets do not.
Yeah, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the absorb is equal to the gold bracelet as well, though. So definitely something I would slap onto that person. Maybe the opal bracelet is the only thing that I would put in favor of that, but then again, you don't get the resistances, so it really depends, I guess, on what you see here.
That's right. When equipped, the white shirt resists fire and death element, and the black shirt, when equipped, resists time, like zap, which can come up later in the game, and the ice element.
And we're about to get our look at a squid here.
We are squid indeed. Neon Gray is making the choice to go ahead and push into Sky. As you said, going into Mirage, you have the ability to just get yourself right back out, save, and come right back into dive. It looks like we're seeing just that.
Yeah, I think Neon will pick up quite a few levels here in Sky, should they decide to loot a few things. And it's time to start thinking about your Bliss RNGs for the Warmech, everybody.
And that kind of leads to the bigger question. Should you see the Warmech and you've got all 4 alive, do you take the fight? Do you feel confident with the levels that you're at? That's a great way to get levels if you can win it. It could put a grinding halt to your progression, though, should you not win it. Either way, I think chat wants to see it.
Yeah, I think you have to try. If Warmech opens up with nuclear or nuke, okay, run away. But if the battle is going decent, you have to try, just because of the massive experience gain.
Oh yeah, easily pick up 3, 4, sometimes 5 levels as well, depending on where you're at. The only hiccup that can come into that plan is being that your good old buddy friend mech is unrunnable, and that really could put a damper on things. But I guess we'll find out here if enough Bless RNGs go out and chat. Ruby being picked up here on Lyra's side, digging out the Volcano Armory. Cat Doctor steps away from showing us what the squid has for us today. And Hiyu digging out 4th floor of Volcano. See if they're able to push through. I'm curious to see whether or not they're going to check out the red D chest as well, if they're just going to go straight into carry. I think pushing in just over an hour, just eclipsed the hour mark here. I think it's time to go. I think you just put the foot to the gas pedal and go. But as I say that, they're walking backwards here. So see how that kind of works out.
All the runners seem to be playing it very safe here.
Yeah, I agree with that one. And that might not be such a bad play for a newer runner, and that's going to be one of the things we talked about as you play the game. You shave minutes and minutes and minutes off of your time. When you have the ability to go back and watch a restream race like this, which is again why Will created this entire new player showcase, it allows you to see where your opponents took the lead and the advantage over you. and where you can kind of trim that and work on it here. So I think plenty of evidence, plenty of game film, as they say, to kind of come back and watch and see where they're going to clean it up. So I expect a lot of improvement from Kyu in the future for sure.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of these new players are doing. And afterward, birds have heat, and Kyu's able to get away from it. It was interesting because I studied my opponents, and I was able to, win a couple matches in the 2018 spring tournament that I was heavily voted against. Let's just put it that way. And a lot of them came from studying my opponent. It didn't seem that a lot of people did that, or maybe they are and aren't saying it. And another player that did that was in the first tournament, who won a lot of matches that they didn't see coming. That gentleman's name was Will Bloodworth.
Surprise of the first league, was it?
Yeah, the first tournament. I think Will Bloodworth did a lot of good things and great things for the community as well. I'm not sure if he's still with us. Crab Cakes is with us. The dealer of defeats, Crab Cakes.
Here's what else is with us. Cat Doctor showing us Kraken with Stun Touch. And Kraken takes out that Knight, so we are down to just 3. Down to 2 as we say that, because Kraken reaches out and touches the Black Mage. Cat Doctor responds very, very well. Takes out Kraken with a huge crit of 700 plus. And lights their first orb. And we talked about it usually carries the first orb lit, but here we are. Cat Doctor. Well, I don't want to speak too soon. The orb's not lit yet.
It's encounters in here.
Yep, Gray Shark and Big Eye get in the way, but managed to run, and there it is. Now the orb's lit. So 1 orb for Neon Gray, 1 orb for Cat Doctor. Still don't see anything from Kyu's side or Lyra's side, but they're making their way. They're in Volcano now. We should be seeing at least a carry attempt here soon. But bless RNGs, Czar said it. We are 2 floors away on Neon Gray's side. So if you want to see Friend Mech, War Mech, go ahead and put those out right about now.
Pro ring pickup for Neon Gray. Neon Gray clicking in on the end of the floating fortress. Looking to light their second orb. Featured runners. Cat Doctor with 1 orb lit headed towards the water.
Not a bad idea. Again, like we said, routing in everything, kind of break the world up into quadrants. You just got done doing the Sea Shrine. You're here. You've got everything you need to get in there. You're going to get a key item. This is a smart move. I like it. So we see Neon going through the sky 4th floor shuffle. We can see the teleporter in sight, but 4 airs are going to step up here in just a moment and kind of put a little bit of a halt to that. But now's the time. We see it there in chat. I see War Mech hype going out already. Get those out right about now. Neon Gray plays a lot of challenge seeds. Definitely not one to shy away from the challenge. We'll see if that doesn't convert into an attempt at a War Mech kill. Maybe get some easy level. Czar, I think you said as well, just attempting War Mech allows you to potentially see some of those spells and abilities that are in the Chaos and Revisited pool. Cat Doctor making their way through the waterfall here, about to be making the south turn, but there's those nightmares that we were talking about. Nightmares with thunder. Is this going to be... Okay, so gets away here, and we finally, on our right side of the screen, finally have a runner about to pull a fiend. Kyu Katsuku.
Finally! To the end of the volcano for Kyu. Kyu's second home, the volcano, now takes on the Fiend of Fire Carry, looking to light his first orb. 3 Light Warriors stand. Dave, Mike, and Remy. Mike leads off 3 hits for 89. He's starting to use the Power Gauntlet and its Saber spell. Carry 6 hits, 6 damage, Poison Touch. Not too dangerous here. I think Kyu's in much better shape than Neon Gray was. Taking on Carry here. Oh, jeez. Who?
Yeah. No problem whatsoever. Just like a hot knife through butter. So very well done. Hour and 6 minutes, just shy of an hour 7, has the first orb lit. But you know, I gotta say, I like their levels. I think their gear looks pretty good. I don't know that there's gonna be too much resistance as they kind of make their way through some of these other dungeons. I'd be curious to see where they go next. Are they gonna go Sea Shrine? If they do, are they gonna go towards Mermaids? Are they gonna do Are they going to do Mirage and then Sky? We just found a rod in Waterfall. The robot held the rod for us. So Cat Doctor now has access to the Earth Cave, if you wanted to do that.
Lyra had some trouble with that unrunnable seafood platter. Could come up again later on in the Temple of Fiends Revisited, but Lyra gets through. Cat Doctor has finished off the waterfall, talked to the robot. It's a good fight here. A couple of Frost Gators and some red piranhas, and Cat Doctor's going to take this fight. I support this. Good experience here on your way to back to Onrak.
Frost Gators, definitely good experience. Neon Gray, first runner so far to show us the second Fiend pulling Tiamat. Will, Czar, what do you guys know about particular Death Touch Tiamat? Ever seen one?
Yes. Matter of fact, I believe it's second most watched video, actually, for Final Fantasy Randomizer involves a Death Touch Tiamat. And it's very popular to watch, apparently, 2 players, as Shalazia, the mad scientist of Team Vorpal, might say, suffer.
Alright, I'm back. I hope I didn't miss too much.
Falcon, I had a question for you, actually.
Just wondering if you've ever seen anything deadly like, Death Touch from fiends such as, I don't know, Tiamat.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen Death Touch Chaos, and it was not good.
Not good at all. So it looks like we don't have Death Touch Tiamat this time, but what we do have looks like a little bit of the meme strats going on with some Banes going off. I wonder if we're going to see that in the upcoming league, maybe from a particular team, Will? I think we've got
meme team?
Yeah, meme team. The team 3256.
Rainbow Poogle's involved. We're talking memes and we're talking shenanigans. And she is involved in split punch side by side. It's gonna be shenanigans at its max.
Oh yeah.
Looks like Cat Doctor is making an Earth Cave dive here.
Yeah, that's typically you see that as the last dungeon. Got the rod, can get the whole thing knocked out here. I'd be curious, do they just go straight for Lich, or are they going to stop and check the chest? Usually you see this last because you're in go mode by this point and you just zip right through. And if you do that now, it's really no time wasted to knock this dungeon out right away. But the chests here are just so spread out that it's really a time sink to check them if you don't have to. But it looks like Cat Doctor is just beelining it. So maybe not such a strange move this early. We'll have to see, though.
Yeah, with one ribbon, you might opt to check the 4th floor. You have warp, so you can check that north room and get down real quick. But again, you lose time for each chest you check. I don't think wall is available to the night.
Yeah, we saw wall. I don't remember what slot it was in. Certainly take a look next time somebody goes to their spell list to see if it's been picked up, because I'm sure if it is available, they're definitely going to pick that one.
We saw a couple players earlier go ahead and check the Red Dragon chest. Kind of weak time. Looks like might be heading over chest. Czar, I'm wondering your opinion on this. In this setup and in this flag set, as Lyra gets ambushed by a whole bunch of mummies and a bird, hopefully she can get through that. Do you almost always skip this chest?
Will, which chest were you talking about there? Because I think your mic cut in and out just a little bit.
The Red Dragon chest that we talked about earlier.
Oh, well, in that case, you have a few different factors to determine. You have 2 trap tiles there, one of which you've probably already seen, so you can decide if you want to test it or not. And, yeah, it all depends on equipment and the trap tiles. I think if you have the equipment, you go. I think if you have found a good trap tile, might want to do a little grind, it would be a good chest to check, obviously. Kind of like ordeals.
Alright, so Cat Doctor about to use that rod. Czar just mentioned it. Heading towards the 4th floor here, there's a large collection of chests up north that Cat Doctor was about to skip and decided, you know what, I'm going to err on the side of caution. I'm going to backtrack and go up here. You have warp. You can check these chests here, cast the spell of warp, bring yourself back to the beginning, and then make your way towards the west. So very, very smart play here. Looks like Cat Doctor decided to skip every chest in Earth except for this floor, but then run straight into a trap tile. So interesting play there. I like the chest check for sure. We'll have to see. And right into another trap tile as well. Maybe they were just checking, trying to see if there was a good fight, maybe a good encounter. That could have been the case. Well, we're going to find out. And there. Slimes. Czar, what do you think about the slime trap tile?
Slimes are a very good trap tile. If you end up needing levels, it might even be worth coming down this deep into Earth Cave later to grind there, depending on how much hit points they have.
Lyra
Yeah, so
SRL
literally-
takes out Carrie, steps away from lighting her first the fire orb.
Question in chat from Kinunten. Is Neon in Go? From what I'm seeing here, I believe yes. All we need is the orbs and the translated slab.
I'm gonna tend to agree. The rod, the chime, cube, oxyale, loot, and mystic key are definitely required to go ahead and have a clear path towards the end of the game. And so we're gonna put Neon Gray in.
Yeah, Neon Gray, I think the first runner to have the go mode orb lit on the screen there. Where you've got Rod, you've got your Oxyale, you've got your chime from the slab, you've got your Mystic Key, you've got your loot. I think it checks all the boxes. So go mode, first time you get to see it here on Randomania 1. You're going to be seeing this tracker used quite a bit going forward. This is going to be the tracker going forward for the league. It's going to be very easy, hopefully, for new viewers to tune in and understand what's going on. Maybe you see a lot of items here, maybe you're not so sure, but you see that green orb lit down there that says go. I think that's a universal signal for, okay, they're ready. They're ready to end this game.
Time to dance is what I like to call it. And Czar, you had a hand in working on that just recently. And I gotta say, it was Randomizer that put this together, did a lot of really all the work on it. And I think they did a bang up job, and hosting us tonight certainly as well. Randomania, thank you very much for everything that you do, and especially the new tracker.
They're
Indeed,
doing a
big shout-outs.
fantastic job. So it looks like, if I'm seeing everything here, and again, thank you to our trackers for doing such a fantastic job. We have an orb lit on every single featured runner here. Cat Doctor, though, just joined the 2 orb club with Neon Gray by taking out Lich. So all in all, that Earth Cave, although you typically see it last, took maybe 5-6 minutes. Not too long at all. Curious to see where they go next.
Falconic, the Adamant find, Cat Doctor, it was in the Mermaids.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the Excalibur lit up, and I did see Cat Doctor turn that in. That could be pretty important coming up. I'm not sure. Did you catch? Is the Excalibur in hand for Cat Doctor?
I'm not entirely sure. If it's not, that's the first place I'm going, because we talked about this.
Oh, yeah.
We've got all the armor we're looking for. We've got our 2 ribbons. Cat Doctor's got 1. I think skipped the one in the hairpin turn. But the Excalibur, fantastic in-game sword, especially with the lack of Mazmoon or Vorpal sighting.
Yeah, no sign of the versatile Mazmoon weapon, equipable by any light warrior, certainly a white mage or a wizard. And, I mean, the game changer, that beautiful blue sword right there has not been found. Very elusive in a lot of practice seeds, and certainly here on the eve of the beginning of the League Season 2 tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here in Randomania. It's going to be October 1st. If you're watching this months down the line, like I did when I first started, that Vorpal, I mean, we got class change. If you can dig it out, maybe it's a validation chest or something, but if it's not, time to adjust a little bit, because it's your end game. For me, someone like me, yourself, maybe Falconic as well, you know your plan when you get that weapon, and it's game over.
Yeah, you've got fast, you've got tempers. I absolutely love just how reliable it is to see a crit from that weapon. So and some people say this is a gamble on these low percentage flags, and maybe they're right, but I don't think so. I think it's reliable enough to where I'm going to put fast, I'm going to put temper on the Vorpal, I'm going to start swinging. You've got your thief with your katana, so if you're in that crowd, you've got that in this seat as well. But I'm going to start swinging, and I'm going to watch those crits just do work on some of those in-game bosses.
Kiyu makes his way to the... picks up that rod. Let's see... Trying to see some go mode here. Cat Doctor still missing the chime at this point. Cat Doctor very close, though.
Very, very close. We've got the slab translated. but have not turned it in for the chime yet.
We're going to check off stream really quick, get you an update very, very soon. St. Von Jester, who was leading previously, is currently turning in the ruby. So we're going to check out those 4 chests for St. Von Jester in just a moment here. We'll see if we can get you an update on orb count for him.
Yeah, I think we saw on Neon's screen probably about 20 minutes ago that unfortunately Titan's Trove just didn't pay out as much as maybe you'd hope by making that check there. But
okay.
Not too much time wasted. I think it was just an ice sword and a little bit of money.
That's exactly what it was, yes. But I like that move from SVJ, and we know what everyone's doing, right? SVJ, one of the newest members to the League Season 2, just joined a team. He is part of the Game Changers. That's what he was looking for, turning in that room. You know he was looking for that.
He was, hoping that maybe that's where it was hiding and others wouldn't do it, and he'd have the advantage in TLFR.
Speaking of the last new player race here that we're having, the Duckling race, what's that Mama Duck we got over there, fuck?
That is Mama Duck, and Mama Duck is cheering on her duckies with a 100-bit donation.
Once again, big thanks to Moist Mogwai, put in so much time and effort to get these, to get the new players and the Ducklings. They're all graduating tonight. Anyone who's ever played, everyone gets to wear the hat of entering the league and not being placed in, kind of a category here, which they really weren't anyway, but we certainly had a lot of fun with it, and everyone really took it in stride. We have had a lot of fun here, and the work that Moist Mogwai has done here, I can't say enough about it, so I'd rather almost not say anything because it probably wouldn't be enough, so we certainly thank you very much, Mo. Hey, Mo!
Hey, Mo, indeed. Cat Doctor, taking a little bit of the lead. We said earlier Neon Gray was in the lead, but although in go mode, Cat Doctor just pulled up the orb lead here. It's got 3 orbs lit now.
Yep.
I saw this. Be interesting.
We had talked about that, Falconic. Neon Gray, yes, definitely. But I really liked Cat Doctor's position. Not to be deterred. Neon Gray taking on the Squid, looking to light their 3rd orb.
And at the lower right, Mazmoon has been located, and it is Earth B1, very rarely checked. So Kiyu here, a little bit behind. That's the type of thing that you want to see to try to make up a little bit of ground here. So finally, besides the Excalibur, which we know Cat Doctor has the ability to get, we have ourselves an endgame weapon. And I don't think anyone else is going to check that.
No, I don't think there's much of a chance. Kiyu showing, once again, this is Kiyu's first match, everybody. And Kiyu's going to be watching this. Whenever it is that you can hear my voice, you can see using a little bit of an experience move. He's using that button. He's going to watch.
Oh, yeah. And so far, showcase we've done work. They work. I think they would, because we've started to see some of the players that have come out of this just taking over, just holding to make a real name for themselves.
I'd like to point out, one graduate Duckling in particular, Romulus. The tear that Romulus was on finally got defeated recently. Had won all these matches with multiple players. He beat me. Absolutely impressive. Potential future champion right there for Conic.
Oh yeah, I would tend to agree with you there. I think anytime you can have your name with maybe close to 10 races under the belt and only 1 loss, yeah, I think you're doing pretty good. That's really interesting. We saw the Mazmoon in a chest that I think we both, all 3 of us agree here, and Zara, maybe you can chime in as well. Just not often checked, 4B1. I'm curious to see, maybe, is the Vorpal going to be in kind of a hidden chest? Is it on floor 2, possibly, where a lot of people skip?
Was it located in marsh? Was it an ice cave? Validation chests? So many different places that it could be.
I'm calling Vorpal in Temple of Fiends Revisited.
I like it.
Interesting. Validation or some of the easy carry chests?
Out of the way, fire floor chest.
Kiyu is continuing to check chests here, even after finding Asthma. I would go here. No one's finished. You're at 1 hour and 22 minutes. Got a lot of items, not quite all of them. Now you've got a weapon. You've got 2 ribbons. Your class changed. I would look to really get going here. The only thing you might be missing, I mean, he's got the dragon armor, he's got the power gauntlet on Mazmoon. What else
White
could
shirt, maybe.
Yeah.
But again, hopefully when they watch this back and they kind of hear what we're talking about and what we do and why, I would say, yes, you skip, you just go, because you still have a couple of dungeons coming up that are going to have some very, very free chests to check. And the likelihood that that white shirt, if that is what you're looking for, is going to be there, just as high as it being here. But again, two things at once, multitask. Right now, you're kind of veering off of the road and you're checking some tourist destinations, but you still got 600 miles to go on the road trip. It's time to just fuel up and go. So
one picture is good enough, Falconic.
Yeah.
Not 20.
Maybe you just slow the car down and check, but no need to stop and get out.
So the story we have going on right now is the left side of your screen. Cat Doctor on the top has entered the Mirage Tower, is continuing to check chests. The bottom of your screen, with 3 orbs, bottom of your screen, Neon Gray with 3 orbs, has entered the Earth Cave, just past the Vampire. Neon Gray is going to be the 4th to light, assuming this dive is successful, to light 4 orbs. Both players in Go mode looking to be the first players to enter the Temple of Fiends Revisited of our featured runners. We can tell you that off stream, I believe that St. Von Jester has 4 orbs lit, but we're going to take a look into that real quick and update you on that as he is in this match as well.
Very nice. Yeah, and I think looking at the left side of your screen here, although you do see 3 orbs to 3 orbs, one of the major advantages, and Will, you pointed it out, Cat Doctor checking a lot of the chests still, is that Neon Gray has the items that Cat Doctor is fishing for right now. Has the Power Gauntlet, has the White Shirt, has the Dragon Armor. I think what Cat Doctor is doing is not a bad play. Yes, you do want to just go and get yourself into TOFR, but with 1 ribbon, missing those items, I think I understand why they're doing it. Neon Gray, on the other hand, has those, just going to be able to go. Doubt they check very many more chests here. Probably hit up the bottom left since it's already there. I don't think anything was actually located there, but going to light the 4th orb, which is the easiest of all the fiends.
Upper right-hand corner of your screen, the Baroness, Lyra, not to be Lupa this time, picks up her chime as the slab is translated 1 orblet. We'll see where she goes next. I would certainly think it might be Mirage Tower. She is in the area. Kiyu continues his methodical dissection of the Earth Cave. Checking a lot of chests. Falconic, I see a lot of this. New players. I did it myself. How long did you do it as well? Early? When you played? Check too many chests?
Yeah, it's. I think it's the most common mistake that that new players make, and it's all about. I think the way that you increase your time or to reduce your times in these runs, it's all about finding your comfortability level. Is 2 ribbons enough? Do you need to have all 3? Which weapons are you okay with taking into TOFR? And maybe at this point, Kiyu is not so comfortable, so he's just checking everything, and that's fine. But you'll find as you run these more and more and more, you don't have to have all the safety blankets that you might think you need to get through a seed.
1 hour, 25 minutes, and 30 seconds. St. Von Jester, 4 orbs lit, has entered the Temple of Fiends Revisited off stream. We'll take a look and we'll update you with a type of parish happenings on that. He is our leader right now. On stream, I've got to think Neon Gray has reassumed the lead here. A little back and forth action on the left side.
Yeah, I agree. I think Neon Gray, for all the reasons just mentioned, clear lead. 4 orbs lit at this point. Go mode has Power Gauntlet, White Shirt, Dragon Armor, 2 ribbons. Yeah, everything looks good. Really unfortunate that they didn't go to the Mermaid side, so they don't have Adamant for Excal. So really, the best weapon they're dealing with right now is the Katana.
Looks like we may have lost Lyra's stream. We're going to take a look into that. We're not sure what it is that's going on there. Meanwhile, SVJ off stream. No problems getting through to the Phantom. Potentially SVJs. Okay. It looks like our restreamer Edgeworth, the champion, is going to bring in SVJ in the upper right-hand upper right-hand corner of your screen to see if SVJ can make this happen and take this final Duckling match in the inaugural summer season of the Ducklings led by Mabaduck, Moist Mogwai, and see if St. Von Jester can win this.
So while Edge gets that set up, you are going to have a very, very competitive and quick look here of two runners in TOFR at the same time. So we're going to see what hopes to be a very, very close race. I know I love watching on stream these 2 to 3 second finishes. Hate to be part of them, for sure. But hopefully something competitive. Let's put this last new player showcase out with a bang before the league starts tomorrow. Very excited to see how this shakes out.
Neon Gray has made it to the same floor that SVJ was. SVJ in your upper right-hand corner. Is SVJ taking levels?
It appears that way.
Oh my. Okay. Unrunnable gas dragons. That's going to allow Neon Gray to catch up. Neon Gray's not that far behind, really, either way.
No.
Okay, Neon Gray takes the lead. Can Neon Gray's potential match to win now?
And this isn't surprising. Neon Gray, I think, has shown such tremendous growth in just understanding their own game lately. And I think you couldn't see that any more than the last synced race that just happened on Thursday, where just obliterated anyone's expectations because they're starting to get more comfortable with, am I feeling okay with the gear that I have? Can I make this dive? Levels look good, gear looks good, let's give it a shot. And they did that Thursday, it paid off huge. Here we go again, you see St. Von Jester playing it safe. Czar said earlier, it looks like everyone's playing a little bit safe this seed. Neon Gray, I think, is just ready to punch the ticket.
Yeah, right behind Neon Gray was Cat Doctor. Right now we see Cat Doctor on a menu screen. We're working on that, trying to figure out exactly what it is going on. Meanwhile, SVJ has actually led the entire way, and SVJ has voluntarily, he doesn't know it, just relinquished the lead to Neon Gray. Neon Gray is closing in on Lich and the Earth, trying to see the levels. Falconic 20...
24, 25 is for SVJ. Trying to catch the levels here from Neon.
Nah.
Very, very quick menuing there. I wasn't able to quite catch it. Interesting, though, is for a second I was going to say maybe they're aiming for level 24, 25.
24.
Extra Mazza hit, but they don't have the Mazza.
They don't have it, yeah. Kiyu does. St. Von Jester gets out of the Temple of Fiends Revisited, saves, goes back in. Is he going to make a run? Either way, all the eyes to the lower left-hand corner of your screen. It is the first Re-Fiend fight. It's Lich 2.
Oh,
Nuclear right out of there.
Okay, well, there's one gone. And
Quake! Neon Gray fires Quake, fallen into Crack. Down goes Lich 2. All 4 warriors are still alive. Neon Gray heals up after pulling off the Quake on Lich 2. I love it.
I'm gonna steal your word here. Veteran move. Neon Gray understood that Quake has, I think it's low to mid 30% chance of landing, and right off the bat, Lich comes out and says, "Here's nuclear. I want you to have a little bit of taste of what the revisited Earth Fiend can have." And Neon Gray said, "Speaking of Earth, I've got a little bit of Earth here for you." So just traps her in the ground.
Neon Gray makes Lich eat the Earth and descend into the Earth. 4 Agama tile here for Neon Gray. We know they've got some problems. Neon Gray gets away. Momentum here. Czar, momentum for Neon Gray. You just quaked Lich 2. Can you feel it here, and do you ride it? Do you feel this when you do something like that?
I think you do. I think it was a perfect counter to the nuclear from Lich 2, and I think they're going to take a few more gambles on the way down, possibly, feeling good about it. It definitely changes your perspective on Temple, especially in wake of what's happened. We had a question in chat from Mo for a quick recap. The King had the canoe, Princess Sarah had the floater, the Pirates had the loot, we saw TNT in Matoya's cave in a chest, Sages had the cube, Narek had the canal, vanilla, Sarda gave up the crown, Astos had the crystal, Matoya had the herb, Elf Prince had the key, we had a slab in key-locked Corneria, incentivized, Ordeals had the bottle, our vendor item was the tail in Gaia, the fairy had the Oxyale vanilla, the ruby was in the armory, which led to nothing good, we had a ribbon in the armory floor in the hairpin chest, and the waterfall robot had the rod, and we found the mass mune in the first floor of Earth Cave to the south, on the southeastern chest.
Thank you, Czar, for the incredible recap. That's the story so far. SVJ has led really the whole way, not by a lot, not too commanding, but the leader. SVJ took some levels in the Temple of Fiends Revisited just a few minutes ago, allowed Neon Gray to pass SVJ. Currently 1 floor ahead in the Temple of Fiends Revisited, running into that unrunnable seafood pack that, it's going to slow everyone down, Falconic, whenever they get there.
It is, and you can see it's allowing St. Von Jester to catch up. St. Von Jester left after getting the levels, and that really let Neon Gray gain 5, 6, 7 floors almost. But yet here we are, 1 floor away.
Yep.
So if St. Von Jester is on a different encounter table or a different spot in the encounter table, maybe they have a little bit of a quicker time on seafloor and allows them to catch up.
Right, SVJ in taking those levels is getting through this a lot faster. The SVJ's on the same floor. He gets an unrunnable of the seafood. Neon Gray gets another one, slowing Neon Gray down just a little bit. These are our 2 leaders. Behind them is Cat Doctor, 4 orbs lit, about to enter the Temple of Fiends Revisited. SVJ entered around around the 125 mark. Neon Gray shortly thereafter. Neon Gray took the lead. Now SVJ's fighting back. Our final match for the new players here. They all graduate tonight, laying everything out on the line. Neon Gray is the first to Kraken 2.
This is where you start to see the gatekeeper. Are we going to see it or not? I don't know.
Got the Knight in the first slot. Kraken gets initiative with Fire 3. A fast goes off and a Power Gauntlet into the Knight. Another fast is... Okay, there's the fast, Power Gauntlet, you start to attack. Again, Knight's in the first slot. Right behind is SVJ. He's got another... He's just a little bit more behind right now. Lightning 2 from Kraken. You gotta like seeing that. Not too much. Not too much damage.
Not too much at all. But again, yeah, Lightning 2, Fire 2, love to see those all day long. Let you get those Invis 2s off. But I think you agree here. I think that Knight in my party is not going to be in that top spot there.
No.
I think I'm moving it down just a little bit because you're really relying all on him right now.
Neon Gray attacks, 46 damage from the Knight. That's not going to get it done. A nuke is good. An Ice 2 from Kraken. Very tame Kraken. Lots of spells. Lots of non-damage spells. Neon Gray fires another nuke into Kraken for 179. We're going to another round. The last nuke charges Neon Gray is going to use to try to take out this squid. 195. Here comes another one from Neon Gray. 198's good enough. Down goes Kraken 2.
Takes down Kraken 2 just as SVJ pulls Kraken 2. So you absolutely called it. We have a race on our hands.
Yep.
Same floor, 1 fiend away. 1 hour, 35 minutes in. Cat Doctor's in TOFR. We've got 3 runners in the end game. You couldn't ask for a more
fitting
fantastic
ending.
Finish. Yeah, a fitting ending to the new player race.
Couple of great players. Yes, this is great. Resources here for Neon Gray. Czar. Neon Gray's out of nukes. It's concerning for me. You're going to have to start to attack. You're going to have to hope for not too much absorb. We believe Neon Gray is using that Sun Sword on the Knight. And once again, the Knight is in the top slot against Tiamat 2. Gets off the Power Gauntlet. And the fast on the Ninja. Using the Ninja with a Temper and the Katana. That's an adjustment. I like that play too. There's another fast going off. So he's looking for 2 melee damage here. Here's round 2. Not too much from Tiamat on the first round. Just a little bit of damage, but we know there's some other spells out there. Bang, zap. There's physical attacks. We have not seen them yet. SVJ still fighting the squid. Using Ice 3, he's conserving resources. We'll see how that plays out. Tiamat. Oh, she doesn't hit very hard, Falconic.
Not at all. Pretty weak Tiamat, so you love to see that. But yeah, with the Katana, you don't have the Excal, you don't have Mazzy, you don't have Vorpal. I'm buffing up the Ninja, and I'm riding this Katana all the way.
You see right now, Neon Gray's looking for that nuke. Neon Gray wants to fire the nuke. It haven't used it, but you got here. There's an attack 396 from the Katana. Very good strategy we talked about. SVJ's through. SVJ is hitting the same floor as Neon Gray. SVJ has caught Neon Gray now. Tiamat does absolutely nothing. Tiamat doesn't seem to be problematic so far. We haven't seen anything dangerous whatsoever. 3 hits for 162. Here comes that Katana. 5 hits for only 116. Another invisibility 2. I think Neon Gray's got this in the bag. 78 damage from Tiamat. It's not going to make it happen. SVJ has pulled in now. It's the same fight. Tiamat 2. SVJ's extra levels got through this faster. Fire 3 from Tiamat. 7 hits, 3 hits. Tiamat's got some HP. An army of HP.
Beefy Tiamat here.
Neon Gray is fasting.
Down.
Yes.
Down. Neon Gray clears Tiamat just as St. Von Jester's starting to get off some of the buffs here. So we are about to see our first dive into Chaos's floor, but not before 5 airs say, hold on, slow your roll.
No, Neon Gray's first. This is unrunnable. Neon Gray has got to take this encounter. If SVJ can finish off Tiamat 2 and not get an encounter, we're going to be neck and neck, step for step. More resources for Neon Gray are being used. Ice 3s, fades, and these airs are not going down.
Yeah, and this is unfortunate because this is, again, more resource dumping here. You really want to have everything you can go into that chaos fight. Gets through the airs, though, but not unscathed.
Neon Gray is through. Neon Gray has made it to the Chamber of Chaos.
Tiamat takes out the Black Wizard for SVJ. Not too big of a deal. Does have life 2 charges, can be able to get it back up, but that just slows this even more because I think he had some spell charges to go out.
Cat Doctor is on the fire floor. Should either player, Neon Gray or Saphon Jester, not make it, it will be Cat Doctor all alone to potentially win this race. But right now, the final new player match on the eve. Oh, CSVG gets through. On the eve of the League Season 2, the final new player match, Neon Gray, your game to win, but Neon Gray's slowing down. Now SVJ's through now. Now
this is another place where a new player is going to struggle.
Menuing.
Yeah, menuing. You've got to know going in exactly where you're going to move things to. It's fine to make adjustments.
SVJ's through.
Chaos.
SVJ's through. Now SVJ has caught Neon Gray now. SVJ is in the Chamber of Chaos. It passed Neon Gray. SVJ takes the lead. He's menuing.
He's going to menu.
SVJ starts the fight. 138-25. Neon Gray's just a little bit behind. SVJ with a very, very slight advantage, and I think he's got a little bit more resources.
Now, don't let that fool you. It is the smart play to get your gear and armor set. Taking the extra couple seconds to get yourself ready to survive the fight is the right play, but when you take that long and you let SVJ catch up and pass you, huge. It could be the difference between seconds.
Back and forth, back and forth. Neon Gray entered less than 20 seconds, initiated the chaos fight less than 20 seconds after SVJ. SVJ has gotten a whole bunch of invisibility 2s off. Neon Gray starting to attack, temper, and the power gauntlet. SVJ starting
Neon's
to heal.
Knight is.
Neon moved the Knight to the bottom, but Neon's already lost the Black Wizard. SVJ has 4 warriors standing. Starting to use the fast, Neon Gray is.
Wielding the Sun Sword is the best you got besides the katana there. It looks like down goes the Red Mage as well, down to 2 warriors now for Neon Gray.
Neon Gray must attack soon. Chaos is causing trouble. SVJ still has 4 warriors and about a 15-second lead to get in there. That he got in ahead of Neon Gray. Neon Gray trying to attack. Neon Gray starting to hold a 2 hits from Chaos.
Just go. Hold it down.
6 hits is good. 7 hits for 427 is not enough for Neon Gray, opening the door for SVJ. SVJ fires a fade, trying to win his 276. Neon Gray takes it. Oh, wow.
Down with the crit from the Sun Sword, and Neon Gray takes the few seconds to just adjust the gear, and man, did it pay off. Moving that Knight to the bottom row, fantastic move. Congratulations, Neon.
SVJ looking for second place. It's SVJ right there. It was that. These new players, I tell you, unbelievable show, great showing, back and forth, up and down. SVJ was off stream when it was leading. Neon Gray took the lead. SVJ took. Cat Doctor was in there. Cat Doctor is actually out of the Temple of Fiends Revisited right now. Congratulations, chat. Get out your GGs. These two players put on a show for us tonight.
29 seconds separated Neon Gray from St. Von Jester. 29 seconds. And you have to wonder, St. Von Jester stopped to take the levels. It could have been the difference between making it and not making it, but could he have done that a little bit sooner? Were the levels necessary, or could he have gone in and just tested? You don't know. You'll never know, but fantastic showing.
Oh, wow. I knew I was worried when it was getting so long we hadn't had any done yet, but I didn't realize it was that close. Wow.
We'd like to welcome our winner tonight, Neon Gray, the winner of the last new player showcase. Also, we'd like to welcome SVJ, St. Von Jester, neck and neck, back and forth. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm out of breath. Czar, who knows where he is? He probably fell off his chair from the excitement of the drama that you two just put on. Neon Gray, congratulations. Tell us about the match. Tell us about this great victory for you.
I felt like I was behind the whole time, obviously. I guess not obviously, because I won. But but I started lagging that incident like right at the start where I had to where I forgot to save and then wiped and then got reset like at the beginning of the river system. So after that, I thought like, oh no, I'm way behind. After that, there was like a desperate search for a Masamune. Obviously, I'm like, Sun Sword's a perfectly good sword. Katana's a perfectly good sword, but I wanted something with a little bit more oomph, but I stumbled into the power bunk, and that that obviously takes care of a lot until Chaos just started punching everything down, and it was like, oh well, good thing I did rearrange it the way I did, so I did get my fasts off at least before the mages dropped. And after that, just whole day and pray.
Falconic, actually, Neon Gray losing those 2 light warriors might have won the match.
Sped it up. Yeah, I was just about to talk to you about that. Having less people to go through the turn order, and having those be the melee dealers, the ones that were buffed up. That's where the damage came from, and it came fast.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess since it did come down to literally 29 seconds of difference, that may well have helped. So yeah, you're right about that.
Well, congrats, Neon Gray. Saint Von Jester joining us here as well. Congrats to you as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. GG to you.
Thank you. Did you find the Masamune, Neon?
Nope.
Oh, because I found Excalibur, so...
Oh, I didn't even get that. I literally did that with a Sun Sword on the night.
Oh, I was too scared.
We can update you on that. Cat Doctor is right behind you in the Temple of Fiends Revisited. The adamant was located in the Mermaids. Cat Doctor dug it out. And Kiyu found the Masamune in the first floor of Earth.
Oh.
Yeah. No sign of the Vorpal Sword, as well as the other type of... And obviously both of you had katanas, so no sign of those other endgame weapons. SVJ, second place.
Yeah, my best.
Talk to me about it. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I mean, I was, like Neon, I was running around with the Sun Sword the whole time, and I was just like, I could do this, but I was a little concerned. Like Neon, I was trying to dig out something. So I went through... I went through Sky Castle and all that stuff. Couldn't find anything. I didn't find the Power Gauntlet. I have no idea where that was.
Armory floor, volcano.
Oh, I knew it. I was gonna go there. Anyway, so I dug out the adamant out of Mermaids. So I was like, that's enough, and I just went. I hit Topher at level 20. Was not worried about my levels, so I farmed some gas dragons. Got up to about 24, and then I just went for it. And it was good. It was really nice. I didn't run into any nuclears or anything like that, so I was really scared about that. I didn't know when they were coming. So
I got a nuclear on Lich, actually.
Oh, I one-shot him.
Yeah, he got the first turn, and then he fell into some sort of hole in the ground. I'm not sure what happened.
That was my next question. You got to it already. Neon Gray, Lich 2 tried to nuclear you, did a little bit of damage. You certainly survived. And then you fought back. Tell us about your strategy there, please.
Well, as far as that goes, I was like, you don't want to take Lich too seriously, but you also don't want to treat him like the joke he actually is.
Well, you disrespect him every time.
Yeah, because the problem is, if you disrespect him the wrong way, he'll first turn nuclear you. But honestly, there was not a lot of direct damage in the black magic. You had the Ice 3, you had the nuke. But those are both fairly high levels. I didn't want to use them yet. So I was like, well, he's not strong against Quake. I've got a Quake. I'll use a Quake. And then it worked.
On stream right now, we're bringing Lyra back in. Lyra's... Or is that a Tiny Fairy?
Looks like a Tiny Fairy coming in bottom left, yep.
Yeah, and we got another one, Falconic. We got Cat Doctor and a Tiny Fairy both on the water floor of Temple Visited. Cat Doctor's in really good shape. We know that Cat Doctor has the defense sword, Excalibur, I believe. Assuming Cat Doctor turned it in, I'm not sure to get the Excalibur. We don't have it on our tracker. But now, here we go again. Just like SVJ and Neon Gray, the show that they just put on, Oof. Let's take a look here. I did want to tell you, SVJ, you were off stream for most of the match. We were able to bring you in a little more than halfway through, and SVJ, you led the whole way. You
thank
definitely
you.
did.
Sorry, I had my mic on the whole time. I hope nobody heard anything.
You're okay, buddy.
You're
You're
good.
okay. I did want to ask you real quick, as both players are taking on Kraken 2, the search that you used the Ruby and you went into the Titan's Trove, and obviously you said you went through the Mirage Tower and Floating Fortress. Couldn't find that Vorpal, could you?
No, I couldn't. I was looking. I'm about ready to reopen it and see if it was in Marsh Cave.
Real quick, guys. Cat Doctor
Oh.
having some real trouble
Oh,
here.
No.
Kraken Nuke wipes it out.
Nuke.
And I think, unfortunately,
Come on,
that
buddy.
race for third place that we were hoping for is not quite going to happen because I do see in the SRO room that Cat Doctor has put in the forfeit. I think that was the second wipe in TOFR, just a little bit more than what they wanted to deal with here. But great showing. Absolutely great showing by Cat
Oh, yeah.
Doctor here. We appreciate you showing up for the new player showcase, the last one before the league, which starts tomorrow night.
Yeah, the Cat Doctor had trouble while both Neon Gray and SVJ were going for the win in the battle to take this match. Win in for a second time. Neither of our finishers tonight saw that nuke.
Yeah, no, I
never
have no
got
idea.
to it.
Yeah, I never got it. I got a bunch of fire 3s. That's about all I got.
A Tiny Fairy fighting Kraken 2, down one warrior. Tiny Fairy, this is her second match, Falconic, I think.
Second, third match, possibly here.
Yeah. Lyra, her third match. Kiyu, first match. All fighting here. Kiyu looking to light another orb, and there down goes Kraken 2. A Tiny Fairy is all alone, looking for third place in this final new player showcase.
Race for third place is Tiny Fairies to lose at this point. Kraken 2 hit pretty hard. Definitely had some spells in the rotation. Nothing too deadly. I think we saw with Tiamat 2, if you can get the Invis 2s up, after that, didn't hit too hard. I think pretty weak spells. Beefy, though. But depending on how their resources look, I don't think Tiny Fairy's going to have too much trouble. But Worms are going to step up in the way first and give a little bit of an issue here. But
Oh, God, Fairy gets away.
excited
Tiamat
to
2.
see this. Yeah.
You want to feel Connor?
No, I was just saying it's
Okay.
exciting to see that what we have left here on the screen are runners with less than 3 runs under their belt.
Oh, yes.
What a way to end the new player showcase before the league.
Yeah, and speaking of, we talked about the left side of the screen earlier, with Cat Doctor and now a Tiny Fairy, 2 major contributors recently in the community on the development team. Tiny Fairy with the tracker and then all these other sort of things. Cat Doctor is saying all this verbiage that I don't understand in our development section, which is open to the public over on our Discord. We'll see if we can get some links into the chat right now. But 2 very active players in the community behind the scenes, and I can't think of them enough because they do a whole bunch of stuff that I can't do.
Oh yeah. Cat Doctor, again, like you said, bringing in a lot of the development to the Discord, definitely help kind of explain a little bit of the back end. But more importantly, one of the better developers that I've met lately that are just almost always available to just spitball ideas with. And then you said it, Tiny Fairy gave us what we've been hoping for and kind of needing for quite some time, an updated tracker. And man, what a tracker it is for new players. Still working on it, still developing it, but in production now, in use. Fantastic tracker. Really appreciate the work that she's done.
SVJ, we talked about it real best finish, second place, very, very done within seconds. You were able to initiate the Chaos battle actually before Neon, just a little bit before, but the loss of the Warriors to Neon Gray, I think, actually benefited.
Yeah, like Falconic said earlier, the turn order, she had a lower turn order. If I would have got my ninja killed, that would have been okay. I should have put him in the front row. But, you know, all he was doing was attacking after his Ice 3s, so.
And Neon Gray, you're active in Final Fantasy with broadcasting and playing, is that correct?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch some of that.
You're active with Final Fantasy IV in that
Yes.
community doing broadcasting.
Yes.
As far as this community with Final Fantasy Randomizer, is that your best finish? Obviously winning against 7 other players?
Yes, actually. I got a lot of last places, a couple of mid-rank ones too. This is absolutely the best I've ever done here, so yay.
Definitely positive leading into the league, would certainly start tomorrow. And a Tiny Fairy is Tiamat 2. Oh, here we go. Looking for third place. All alone, a Tiny Fairy. big contributor to the community, and I can't help but young lady Falcotic. Wonderful job here, looking to take third place in this match. About to pull the Chaos battle.
And there we see it. We talked about it. Go ahead.
I've got a question for you, Neon. There was quite a bit of menu time just before Chaos. Take us through those last few menus there and what you were thinking.
As far as that goes, I was obviously healing. Then from there, rearranging ribbons, and the only pro rig I had, because I never got around to buying any more. Moving the ribbon down to the ninja because I was expecting that, again, Sun Sword and Katana, I'm loaded to the gills with tempers and fasts. So the plan all along was to go with both of them, sharing the load of doing most of the damage dealing. So, and again, once the buffs went off, neither of the mages had a whole lot of work to do. So, I was just prepping everything for the mages to go quietly into the night.
So you would say that you are a believer in the katana?
It's a good sword.
Now there you have it, everyone, from the winner of the race. Katana is hype.
A tiny
But Vorpal
fairy.
is better.
That's right. SVJ knows what's going on.
Hey, you know what? If I'd found it, I actually would have used it. So, I'll give it to you guys this time.
Good enough.
Oh, I agree.
Good enough. It's getting lots of hits on Chaos. Tiny Fairy doing a lot of damage. Tiny Fairy attacks again for 177. Here comes another round. All 4 warriors standing, just like SVJ had. Didn't run into the issues of losing warriors that our winner Neon Gray did. Chaos misses. The evasion is up there. There's 94. More evasion stacked for a Tiny Fairy. All alone. Looking for third place. Last new player match.
I have to point out, while we have the ability, look at Tiny Fairy hitting with hugs and love. Check out check it out. 6 hugs for 211 love.
Another 6 hugs from a Tiny Fairy. Zap. Chaos has Zap. Where did that come from? Down goes one Light Warrior. Neon Gray, did that get you?
Zap? No.
No, I don't believe we saw Zap yet.
I didn't see Zap either.
Look at the strategy. You can
Chaos
see Tiny Fairy thinking.
Fast. Chaos has fast. 6
Doesn't
hugs and a whole
matter.
bunch of...
It doesn't matter. Love conquers all, as seen today. You just hug Chaos enough, and down he goes. Look at that evil soul crackling into 1,000 pieces here. Tiny Fairy takes third place.
Hugs, love, and everything. With a big strike, a Tiny Fairy with an official SRL time. 1 hour, 55 minutes, a little bit of change in 3 seconds. A Tiny Fairy. Third place tonight. Just a little bit behind our 2 dramatic finishers, Neon Gray and SVJ. We are in contact right now with the Tiny Fairy, certainly offering the opportunity if she wants to come in and chit chat with us. We're not quite sure at this point in time whether or not that is, but how about them hugs, Czar? You like that love?
The things that everyone is just taking upon themselves to do with this randomizer have been, awe-inspiring. I am just motivated further to explore what else can be done with this 30-year-old game.
Tiny Fairy showed tonight that all you need is love, and I can only think that somebody should write a song about it.
If a Tiny Fairy does decide to join us, Falcotic, you gotta ask about that, because I can't wait, certainly, for the answer. A couple more players still playing here. It's Lyra SRL in her 3rd match. Kiyu in his 1st match, sticking it out, hanging in there, fighting as can be. Let's see, do we have anyone in Go mode here? I don't believe so. How about Lyra? Is Lyra close to Go mode, I think?
Lyra does look like is in Go mode, yeah. And Kiyu is just needing to turn in the bottle to get the Oxyale, and that will put that'll put them in Go mode as well. Looking good with the Power Bonk, the Power Bonk, the white shirt, the Dragon Armor, the Mazmoon, the only runner to find the Mazmoon. So really, really liking what I see from Kiyu here. First couple races here to be 1 orb away, sub 2 hours. That's not bad. A lot of people 3, 4, sometimes 5 hours on their first few runs.
The champion Edgeworth taking care of the restream tonight here on Randomania. Elastoid stepping out and helping with the crew his first night on trekking. Joined by all of Team Vorpal, the leader Zardia, the enforcer Falconic FF, the Godfather, Mr. Rossetti's on trekking. I am the smooth talker Wukliosis, and we've been joined now by our third place finisher, a Tiny Fairy. Third place. Tell me about the match, and how do you feel about that great placement, that great finish that you just had?
I have no idea how I got third place. This is my 5th seed, I think.
Mhm.
I mean, I've played more than that, but I've stopped after 20 minutes or so. This is, I think, my 5th finish ever.
Very well done here. I have to ask here, you really caught a lot of attention when we put you up onto the featured stream, and we have a couple questions for you. But the first one,
Sure.
hugs and love.
I mean,
What's
yeah.
that all about?
Well, like, I don't want to play a game that has terminated whenever I, like, deal damage to somebody. No, like, why would I want to do that? I'm making friends.
Good to see. Don't think anyone saw what I think a lot of us would consider just the greatest sword in the entire game, the Vorpal. Any sighting on your screen there while you were off screen?
No, I did not find Vorpal or Masamune. I did have a katana on my ninja, and the sun sword, of course.
Well, we did find where the Mazza was. It was first floor of Earth, lower right. So katana definitely carried the day. Luckily, had a thief in the party, so you're able to use it here. And like you said, 5 seeds or so under your belt. How do you feel about you do sprints? I've seen you do sprints every once in a while, where you load up a seed and you'll do the first 20 minutes to try to get your early game going. Jet seeds like this, do you enjoy seeing them? Do they kind of make it a little bit not as fun? How do you feel?
I definitely like being able to open up everything early. I like being able to get all the required stuff out of the way, because then it's just routing. Where can I find the most chests? Where can I get the best equipment? When am I ready to just tackle the fiends and go straight for Topher?
Veteran answer. I
It
got
is.
you guys a veteran answer. Tiny Fairy, it's Will. Congratulations. Very, very impressive. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about, you're welcome, if you could tell us about the upcoming league. It starts tomorrow, and your team. Can you tell me who's on your team and the team name and a little bit about that, please?
Oh, sure. So I am on Team Friend Mech. It's me, Leggy Starscream, MBI, and Soul Taker. MBI is having technical difficulties right now, and so he won't be able to participate in probably the first 2 weeks of matches, but we're not concerned. We can still get good scores with a team of 3. We're going to go out and have a lot of fun. We're probably not going to place first, but that's okay.
And this is a question, Tiny Fairy, that I ask a lot of people every now and then. I want to pose to you. What brought you here?
Oh, I am a huge fan of old school Final Fantasy, especially Final Fantasy 1. I was actually at the magical age where my family got a Nintendo Entertainment System when I was about 2, and then I learned to read by playing Final Fantasy 1. So, like, this game has been with me my entire life. I've always loved the little quirks, the variety in enemies, the variety in weapons, and all the, like, bugs and glitches and stuff like that, which you guys have patched out a lot of that stuff and made the game a lot more interesting, a lot more diverse. So it's really cool to see, like, oh, the dragon sword finally does something, the giant sword finally does something. It's like, it's a great experience to be able to play the game as it was intended to be played. And also to turn it on its side and randomize everything.
We certainly thank you for that. We were able to talk a little bit about the great development work that you've been doing with us, Tiny Fairy. Say, been fantastic. Right now on screen, we've got Lyra with a couple orbs lit. We've got 3 orbs lit for Kiyu. Same sort of story, 5th, 6th seed being played by Lyra. I don't know about Kiyu. I know it's his first match. Still fighting here, Falconic, and this has been a theme ever since we started this. That was 8-9 weeks ago. It was 2 months ago, and this theme just continues. and all these new player matches. It started with the Shadow Walkers, then it went to the Romulisises, and now it's the St. Von Gestures, the Neon Greys, and the Lyras, and it's very consistent of, I'm going to beat this game, and, I'm going to kick some butt.
Mm-hmm. Just getting the experience under your belt. Kiyu here, like you said, first race. Unfortunately, we are going to kind of shelve the new player showcase while the league's going on, but one of the participants, one of the entrants tonight onto Team Vorpal, if I'm not mistaken, so going to get a lot of practice in the upcoming league. I don't know that we're just going to strip them of the Duckling title just yet because they are so brand new, but when we bring the new player showcase back after the league, if we do, which I can't imagine that we won't, very, very looking forward to seeing what other names we can kind of discover, what players, and just who's going to be the next champion for the next tournament, the next league, going so on.
Yeah. Who can I challenge next that's going to beat me, right?
Exactly. Who do I want to commentate rather than race?
Right, exactly. I'm so excited for the league. Once again, it starts tomorrow, October 1st, 2018. It's going to be right here on Randomania. It's also going to be broadcast on our other broadcast partner, Speed Gaming, and their family of networks. It's going to be, about 7-8 weeks, somewhere in there, ending right around Thanksgiving. Team play, individual play. All that information that anyone needs is in the Discord. We have new players pop up all the time. Kiyu, one of them, a perfect example, just popped up this weekend, really. Already, playing here, getting commentary. You get an opportunity here. It felt kind of like it was given to me, it was given to you, and we're very open, very welcoming. So if anyone's thinking about it, I can't encourage you even more. Or even if you just want to play the game on your own and learn that a pro ring does block Toxic and Squint, and you never knew that like I didn't for 30 years.
Or, case in point, Lyra, taking a look at her screen now, picking up Bracket level 7. About to head into water, put that spell to good use. I don't know that I saw too many other people do that, so maybe you're watching this race, maybe this is the first FFR you've ever seen, maybe the first Final Fantasy run you've ever seen, and you don't know what all the spells do. Lyra's showing you right now a little bit about what she's learned. Brack, very, very good, great spell for the Fiend of Water and the Fiend of the Air coming up, and it looks like already got Tiamat down, but wouldn't doubt if we see Brack put to use here.
I like it. Potentially breaking the squid into pieces. Ich
Brack
bin
and
Maya.
McCracken.
Rainbow Pugo special. Ich bin Maya is joining us in chat. Talking about how signups are still open, which you've talked about a few times, Falconic. We just had another team join just earlier today. SVJ, you were that. Do you mind telling us, assuming you're still here, tell us about your team?
We are the best sword in the game. We are Team Vorpal. We are going to win. We're going to make stakes.
Yes.
We are going to cut through the competition.
Yes.
And we are blue and ready to fight.
Tell us who's on your team, SVJ.
Oh, that's a good question. Hang on a second.
You got, I do believe,
So you gotta look it up.
the Godfather.
I've got Caesar, I got V, and I've got Q. We also have, apparently... Oh, you have somebody else.
The Godfather, Mr. Versetti, teaming up with
Versetti, yep.
the leader of Team Vorpal. He's with us here tonight doing all this work behind the scenes. Czar is on that team.
Oh, yeah.
And Kiyu in the lower right-hand corner, taking on Kraken right now, the Fiend of the Water. Kiyu already showing a little bit of experience here. The Knight in the bottom slot, something that Neon Grey did not do, our winner tonight, until very late in the game. Kiyu making that play a little bit earlier, a little bit safer, and I like it, except for when Kraken obliterates your Black Wizard with a punch.
Love the move of the Invis 2s, the Tempers moving the Knight down. Everything was done perfectly well, but Kraken sometimes doesn't care. Invis 2's going off again, though, with that Mazmoon Power Bonk going off. Hopefully Kraken will go down here soon. But this is where we were talking about. Lyra picked up Brack. Brack would be a fantastic spell to be just throwing out right now with that Red Mage. And maybe just end this in one fight, or one turn.
Kiyu's down to 2 warriors. Starts to attack with the Mazmoon. 5 hits, 705 is good. After a fast and some buffs, level 24, Kiyu lights his 4th orb.
We had a quick question for a Tiny Fairy from Noctis Vigil about your hack that you're using there. He's interested in possibly obtaining it. Is there a resource for it?
I haven't released it publicly yet. It's just stuff that I've been playing around with. The graphical changes are from Final Fantasy III, basically unedited. and then I changed all the text myself because I didn't like the original text.
Okay, so Noctis Vigil, get in touch with a Tiny Fairy if you want to help them test it.
Yeah, I'm on the Discord, so just send me a message. Oh, I do also want to cheer on Kyuketsuki here. I noticed this community kind of poo-poos vampires, but I think we can have a strong vampire contender once they have a little bit more experience under their belt.
Yes.
Uh-oh. We got some vamp love in the chat today. I'm surprised.
I can get behind that, definitely. Kiyu is leaving the waterfall and on-rack area to the ship. Go mode has been established for both players, still sticking in this race. Kiyu with the 4 orbs, maybe a little bit of shopping, but a trip to the Temple of Fiends Revisited could be on the docket.
I think we're going to see it here very, very shortly. I didn't get a chance to see the levels of Kiyu, but I do like the power bonk. I like the white shirt, the Mazza, huge weapon to be wielding here. Never did see the Vorpal. Do have the katana here, 2 ribbons. I think I would feel pretty good here. Looks like they agree. We're doing a save right outside, and in we go at the 2-hour and 8-minute mark. Fantastic time
Really,
for somebody who is this new. It truly is.
Yes. My first match that I played involved Shofukamachi, great player, forever 4th in the first league. And we played one night, and my first match was easier than this. Did not have NPC Shuffle. NPC Shuffle wasn't there back then. It was close to being there, but it wasn't. So it was a more original game. And my match was 5.5 hours, Falconic. How long was your first match?
My first, well, I did a little bit weird. Of course, I can't do anything conventional. My first race SRL was against, I believe Fuchsia was in it. There was a Tristal, and it was the first introduction of Entrance Shuffle. So that one took, I think I finished in about 2:20-ish. But my first standard, just practice, because of course I practiced before I jumped into the Discord. I think it took me close to 4 hours. Truly, it was. Yeah. It felt fast compared to the vanilla, but after watching everyone play, it felt really slow. But within a month or two, practicing, watching people, taking advice in Discord, set personal best in the Swiss flags, the ones I don't really care for, at 1:14. So in that little time, if I can make that big of a jump, I promise you anyone can, because I'm not a very good runner. I'm more of the back end side of FFR as far as commentary and helping out than I am.
The challenge seed, which, and actually, Falconic, for those of you that don't know, is really the pioneer, the proprietor of the challenge seed, which is available in our Discord. It's actually, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, the challenge seed usually has specialized rules, or it might have a theme to it. They're usually on the harder side. Usually we're throwing in, it's our chance to kind of debut some beta features every once in a while, some alpha features. Usually it's going to be ones that are going to take you, we try to aim between the 2 to 3 hour mark, even for the veterans, but it's where you see a lot of these runners, the Lyra SRLs, the Tiny Fairies, Neon Grays, St. Von Jesters, Rom Ulysses got to start there. These are the type of players that we saw week in and week out that wouldn't really be in the SRL races because maybe it's a little bit intimidating. Maybe they didn't want to go up against veterans. But the challenge seed, you get to run it on your own time and compare your times against others. Honestly, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I think that they were able to kind of hone their game and sharpen their skills there, and it has really paid off. So it's a little bit more difficult, but fun, I think.
Definitely agree, Falconic. Demon Frog is in there now. He's helping out Falconic. They're coming up with crazy, wacky ideas. And remember, the word is challenge, so it is not easy. And it was from the challenge seed, which was started before the new player races, where the idea sprung, essentially. We saw a lot of these names that I wasn't too familiar with as a player. And in matches, couldn't make the tournament, had just recently discovered the greatness of Final Fantasy Randomizer. We're kind of like a Tiny Fairy just really talked about a little bit. And that's where the idea for this whole summer series came from, was that challenge sheet. So we've got so many different options in the Discord, so many different things going on. There's an async seed, which is something that you can play, at any time. A lot of different ways to interact and just really play the game that we love and a lot of us really grew up on, especially if you're as old as I am.
Oh yeah, like you said, we've got synced races where you're all in the SRO room together, much like we're doing tonight. You've got your async weekly where you can run on your own time. You've got challenge seed where you can run on your own time. And I think a lot of people, I would say more so than not, we've got a community where it's not so much on the competitive side. Sure, we do have that subset group of people where all they do is race, but a lot of times it's more about, at least I can see from the challenge seed, people completing it for the experience, but more so the community of being able to talk in the spoiler room for the entire week. Oh, what did you see? Oh, I saw that. I decided to go this way. That was fun. Let's load this up again and see if we can beat this at a faster time. And they start to really kind of create their own challenges in and of itself. So it's just the community behind all the different rules and flags that we have.
Kiyu on screen gets the nuclear that our winner tonight, Neon Gray, got. Leaves all 4 warriors standing, but a big strike when 10 hits from the Knight takes down Lich 2. He's healing up right now, going to move on to the fire floor of the Templar Fiends Revisited. Just a minute or two ago, Fakonic, you talked about how no one could locate the Vorpal.
Mm-hmm.
SVJ?
Vorpal was in Marsh Cave.
SVJ finding, fired the seed back up, went back in because he wanted to see how it would have been easier to win this game. Obviously went in and the Marsh Cave.
I also thought about going in there on my way up there. I was like, maybe it's in here, and I passed it up.
So Marsh Cave, you said first floor, top?
First floor, right side. Yep, top of the, go right there. Just laughing at us the whole time.
That's interesting because had somebody decided to go into Marsh, you almost always see everyone take the top route first, get the, 1, 2, 3, 4 chests that are there.
Yeah.
If you would have made that play thinking, you know what, maybe something good is there, and you got the Vorpal right away, that might have been enough to say, got it, I'm leaving. And
yeah, I would have been straight out.
Yeah, that's maybe 2 minutes of your time. So it would not have been a bad dive, in my mind. You have people in chat who I think might have head injuries. I'm not entirely sure. They seem to not want to have the Vorpal, and I hope they get the help and the care that they need. What I can tell you right now is that on a Tiny Fairies tracker, I think I just saw the Vorpal lighting in and out of existence. So it's so powerful, it pulses off its light.
Mystical.
Just absolutely amazing sword. There it is again.
There it goes again. Excuse me, Kiyu. Menuing, fully healed with our own level to 24, 25. 25 on the Knight is pretty good with that Mazmoon. That'll give 5 hits. Kiyu rearranging his light warriors for the fight with Carry 2. Playing it very safe.
I like it. Playing it smart as well. You put the Knight at the bottom in the 3rd slot. Great slot for them. Keeping the life caster in the bottom slot. I think that's equally as important as where you're putting your fighter here.
Power Gauntlet being used by Kiyu. Carry attacks, but doesn't wipe out the Black Wizard. Here come the invisibilities to raise that evasion against Carry 2. Meanwhile, just above Kiyu, Lyra runs into the shuffled trap tiles that we're going to see all league. It's a bunch of mummies. It's actually a pretty good fight. Lyra's going to get away from it, trying to save some time. Meanwhile, Kiyu stacking more evasion for this fight against Carry 2. Trying to get through the fire floor here. Fires off a Lightning 3 for 52. Another Power Gauntlet. And there's a fast. And there's a nuclear from Carry 2.
Carry 2?
Down goes the Black Wizard. Kiyu, I would think, has got to attack here. Take out Carry before Carry can do some more damage. 3 hits, 3 damage ain't going to do nothing. But 10 hits for 1,021 takes down the Fiend of Fire. Kiyu elects not to heal quite yet, but is going to start healing. He's got life, right?
Does have life. Well, I hope. Life was learnable by the Red Wizard. Life 2, actually, by the Red Wizard. So hopefully has spells for that. Took a couple of steps after that fight before healing. I don't know if I'd go that far. This place can... well, we know what's on this floor. Unrunnable seafood pack. Yeah, life 2.
Life 2. 4 hits of it. There's 1 of 4, so 3 are left. Kiyu's going to go ahead and go back to a normal light warriors lineup here. They were taking on that unrunnable seafood platter. Neon Gray, are you still with us, our winner tonight?
Yes, I am.
Was that the most annoying encounter for you throughout this seed?
Yes. Like from the minute I saw that on, was it the Grey Worm tiles?
Yes.
And I saw the unrunnable there, and I'm like, oh no, please. I mean, they weren't, you know, that encounter could be really nasty. And it wasn't this time, at least, but still, it's really common. So having it come up over and over and over again, please don't.
Good use by Kiyu of the Thor Hammer to Ice 2. Go ahead and wipe that pack out. There's another pack of a whole bunch of enemies. You can see Lyra just above Kiyu also using the Thor's Hammer to try to take out that pack of enemies. Again, Neon Gray, our winner tonight. First place, followed by SVJ just seconds behind. It was a very dramatic battle. Just behind that, a tiny fairy out of nowhere, taking third place. And now it's Kiyu. First match. We're not sure how many seeds Kiyu has played at this point. Maybe we'll be able to find that out after the match if Kiyu is able to finish this out. And we'll see if he can make it happen.
Even if Kiyu's got a couple more seeds under their belt than we know of, I think we've mentioned this before. It's a whole nother beast to perform to the level that you've been doing in practice in a race, in an SRO race. It's a whole nother one to know that you're being restreamed or featured as well. You start to make a couple of input errors here and there. Maybe people don't see it. Maybe they do. I think we've seen a couple of times, at least I'm assuming this is what we're seeing, that he'll stop every once in a while. And I think what might be happening is he's pulling a map to see the layout of the dungeons. And that's perfectly fine. You're going to do that as a new player from time to time. It'll become second nature as you play more and more and more. And that's, again, we talked about when you first start off, you start to shave, 10, 20 minutes off your time. Then it's just 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then you start to get down to the small details of where do I shave seconds off my run. So I think that's going to be the first place Kiyu is going to go to, is just learning the maps better is going to cut down quite a bit of time. But here we are, 2 hours, 20 minutes, looking really, really good on the gear. Levels look good. Resources look good. Pulling Kraken too. I mean, I'm impressed. I think it's doing pretty well so far. We'll see how he handles the next two fights, whether or not he's got the gumption to come back in here if a wipe happens. Hopefully one doesn't, but very impressive showing for sure. Lyra as well, a little bit behind right now, but never phased. Always plays, has a good time, has fun.
That's something else we've seen today, is that there have been very minimal wipes among all the runners.
Yeah. So here, we talked about it before. Lyra purchased Brack in OnRat. Has it on the Black Wizard. I believe has charges with the levels. Opted not to go for it. Went with Nuke instead. Turns out didn't really need it. Kraken 1 is down, so that's the third orb lit for Lyra. But is in go mode and can essentially just make her way over to Earth, the quickest dungeon of all. And we could see, again, for Lyra, a humongous improvement in time so far to be able to just get 4 orbs lit and potentially be at TOFR sub 230, 240-ish. SVJ, Neon Gray, either of you still with us here?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right. Any advice that you have for somebody that, much like yourselves, just decided recently to kind of join the community and kind of not only hang out in the Discord, but kind of put their hat into the ring for races?
You just got to keep going for it. You don't get discouraged. You know, it's a whole new beast. It's not just running around and knowing exactly where all the items are. They could be anywhere. So you just gotta keep a level head as best you can. I know it's hard, especially for people like me. And you just keep, like you said, you shave off 20 minutes, you shave off 5 minutes, you shave off 1 minute. You know exactly where the maps are. You know where all these treasure chests are that you want to find. You know what's in go mode. You know what you're comfortable with as a person to play. And you just find those things and go. And sometimes you have to step out of your element. You have to let those light warriors die. You have to not find a Mazamune or Vorpal or Excalibur. You got to go with that Sun Sword like Neon did. And you just got to keep trudging it on. And you will win eventually.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is that, you know, unlike a lot of games that that people play, you know, the mechanics of Final Fantasy 1 are extremely transparent. They're really well exposed. There's lots of information that's, that to be accurate about it. And once you have that, you can start. It's a lot easier to piece together, how should I approach any given situation you might run into. And like knowing that, like say when I ran into that Lich 2, and I'm like looking at what to do with my Black Mage, when I'm like, I don't want to use a nuke because I've only got like 4 of them. I know Ice 3 is gonna do lousy damage. I know Quake will have like a 25% success rate even on a Lich 2. So at that point, it makes sense to go for it. And you can't do that with a lot of games. You can't sit there and go, you can't know for certain how worthwhile a lot of these things are. You can't sit there and go, okay, I've got the Sun Sword, which is not great, but I've got the Power Gauntlet, and that will make any weapon in the game good. And it's, it's having all of these. You can have a really full awareness of how all the different moving parts of the game hook together, and I think that's really helped me a lot. And yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry
just
about
getting the experience in. I think you guys showed tremendous growth. Neon, I think I've told you time and time again when I watch your streams and just the challenge seed times you put up, just incredibly impressed with how much you've grown and kind of shaved off your times there. S3J, prominent streamer, plays all types of games here. Really starting to hone in the Final Fantasy, though. Really starting to cut those times down. Both of you doing very, very well. Czar, if you're still with us.
Of course.
What are your thoughts here on just the amount of growth that we saw in the community from the end of the tournament till now, and the level of play from the people that have joined?
It's a testament to the community itself. It's a testament to the people that we have. It's a testament to the creative and original ideas that the people in our community have. And it's a testament to our correspondence with one another. Instead of just, kind of sitting on ideas and letting them fester about, these people are passionate about it, and they get it to the devs, and they message the devs, and our devs are wonderful as well. They are always willing to help. They are always full of information. A lot of the more technical questions people have are answered very quickly in Dev Balance in our Discord. And we have people coming in, and they are set up within the randomizer as fast as they can. We have, pretty much 24/7 people are around ready to help. So I think that the growth is, credited and attributed to the quality of our community and to the quality of the people we have spearheading it. So that includes you, Falconic.
Yeah, I always say that I feel that it starts with the dev team. The Game Boy F9s, Meridian BCs, Nitzes, and they're the ones that got me really going. And when I was able to, personally get in with them and help them as best I could, not knowing what the things that like a tiny fairy does, I think that their contributions and the things that they do, I think it really does start with them, and it just grows out like a tree from there.
I agree with everything said above, and here we are. If you want to focus your attention lower right, our first SRL run for Q, and we are on a Chaos Pool sub 230. I think that's a fantastic time, even for these flags. Does he make the adjustments? Does he rearrange the party that we saw Neon Gray do? He's got the gear. I think the Mazda, strong sword. I don't think anybody else saw that. He's got the power bonk, got the white shirt, dragon armor. Everything looks good. 2 ribbons. Now's the time. Can he get it done? If he can, impressive. If not, does he stick it out and come back in? We'll find out.
There's the rearrange you talked about. Preparing. Watched a lot of videos. Obviously played time. Here we go. Kiyu against Chaos. In his first match right here on Randomania. Using Temper. Invis 2. Another Invis 2. Uh-oh. Chaos right off. Oh, initiative to Chaos. Destroys the Black Wizard. That was the fast call, wasn't it?
No, and I was going to point that out. That was a slip up on his part. He'll learn next time he plays. Fast trumps Temper. He did Temper with both the Ninja and the Black Mage. Didn't do Fast, although it wouldn't really matter with the Black Mage because he dead before he got off. But fortunately, the Ninja only had 1 charge of Temper or Fast. Used it on Temper, so now there's no Fast.
This could be where that Mass Mune he found really pays dividends.
Right. Has he casted a fast
No,
at all?
no. He had enough charges on the Black Mage to do tempers and fast, but the Black Mage went down.
Okay, I think he's got fast on the Red Wizard as well, but that's 2 power gauntlets and 2 sabers. That's gonna be pretty good, but he's gonna attack. He's got a fade. There's a lightning 3 from Chaos, and the ninja's down to 1 knee. The ninja is on life support.
He does not have fast on the Red Wizard.
Okay, it's a 3rd power gauntlet. That's 3. Kiyu's got to attack here, Falconic. He's got to take this Ultimate Fiend down now.
I agree. You dug out the Mazza. You don't have enough time with what you've seen from Chaos so far to continue to power bonk. You're doing enough damage right now. Just go.
Right, 3 hits for 300 from the Mazmoon. Here comes another round. He's going to use the Zeus Gauntlet and Chip, and he's going to fire with the Red Wizard, and another Power Gauntlet is going for 4, but his evasion is high, and he gets a free round. 24 from the Zeus Gauntlet, another Saber Shot. There's a fade from the Red Wizard for another Bill. Another round. Can Kiyu finish this off and get 4th place? There's a fade.
He did it!
144. The Mazmoon shot for 637 is good enough. Kiyu takes his 4th place. Congratulations. Get out your GG's, chat. Very well earned. An official SRL time. 2 hours, 27 minutes, 54 seconds.
Very, very well played. I know this sounds cheesy. I promise you it's not condescending. To just finish your first SRL race, to be able to take out the boss, to figure out the puzzle of the game is in and of itself a feat, and that's fine. Not only did they do that, they were able to get it done and get it done in impressive fashion. They dug out some chests that we were a little bit questionable about, but it yielded the Mazza. So who are we to argue whether it was a good play or not? Yeah, maybe you could have saved some time, but I think in this fight, Czar pointed it out, mismanaged a few of the spells, going to be a little critical. You want to get the fast off before the tempers, but the decision to dig out Earth and get the Mazza, I think, saved the day. Just very, very well done, and I expect to see leaps and bounds of improvement going forward through the league that starts tomorrow night.
Speaking of digging out that Mazmoon and taking out Chaos for place tonight, is that a Kiyu that has joined us in the broadcast booth?
Hey there.
GG, Kiyu.
Not bad for somebody who hasn't played the game in almost 12 years and tried to relearn it in a week.
Not bad at all.
Kiyu, it's Will. Personal best time? Tell us about that, please.
Personal best? That's a 50-minute PB.
Wow.
And it's because I nearly had a 230 last night. Well, not last night, the night before. But then Tiamat 3 was Tiamat 3. Oh, sorry, Tiamat 2 was Tiamat 2.
Mm-hmm. Kiyu, this is Falconic here real quick. In your practices, you said 12 years that you've been gone from Final Fantasy here, coming back to Final Fantasy now with the randomized version, with all the fixes that the devs have put in here. Getting your feet wet, jumping head first into an SRL race. I think you're on the same path that I was on, where you just join the community and get right into it, and I'd love to see that. I gotta say, your first time dwarfs mine, so I'm putting your name on a list of people that I'm looking forward to watching. That list also happens to be the list of people I probably don't want to play.
Yep, me too.
I'm just glad that maps exist, honestly, because that's pretty much, I've got 7 tabs of maps open on my other screen.
Kiyu, you just talked about it, how you haven't played in 12 years, want to learn in a week. Can you give us an exact answer? We were speculating a little bit. Is this your first match?
Yes.
Okay. Oh boy. Mine was 5 hours. Falconix was gosh knows how long, so.
Close to 3-4 hours, yeah.
I've completed some seeds, but again, the only completed seeds, I think this is my 3rd or 4th completed seed, and they're all within 1 week.
I mean, a 50-minute PB is nothing to scoff at. Clearly a vast improvement.
We were talking while you were running, too. There were a couple times where you would be in a dungeon, and we said it looked like you were stopping and checking maps. And that's an awesome thing to see. One, because as you continue to play more and more, the maps are going to become second nature. So when you're starting to look at how you can improve, how you can shave off 10, 15, 20 minutes, you've got plenty of corners that can be shaved and kind of shaped and molded. So I think I wouldn't doubt if within the next week, 2 weeks, as you start to get a little bit more familiar with the maps, your time is going to come down for a PB to sub 2 hours, to sub 1:30. So very, very well done. Absolutely well done.
Kiyu, a question that I pose every now and then. I got Neon Gray with it a little bit earlier. How did you find out about this community, and what brought you here?
Well, I frequent Trumborder's stream a lot, and another person who's always in there is a person who likes the Whirlpool Sword, who's talking to me earlier, Czar.
Yeah.
And they were kind of the people that I kind of got me interested into playing Final Fantasy Rando. In fact, Trumborder's was the guy who was like, well, you want to use this program, and you can find a ROM and whatnot. And Czar was super helpful, and his video, after I got stuck for like a 5-hour seed earlier this week, I just rewatched the 3-hour video, hands to fold, and just tried to implement as much as I could into my playstyle.
Quick learner, Kiyu, for sure. Just make sure you watch the Death Touch Tiamat video, please. Czar was involved. Fantastic match. The #1 watch Final Fantasy YouTube stations, but.
Don't look now, but 2 hours, 32 minutes. Lyra has entered the Temple of Fiends Revisited. Gear looks fantastic. 2 ribbons. We've got defense. We've got katana. No Mazmoon, but we do have everything else we're looking for.
Yep. Lyra, I've worked with Lyra a lot, one-on-one, to improve game. She asks questions, and we go through strategies. And this is a personal best for Lyra, too. I believe her previous personal best was entering the Temple of Fiends Revisited right around the 3-hour mark. And that was, Falconic, that was a recent, somewhat recent new player match. And that one was easier. That one was with experience boost. So, tougher match, even better time. So, again, strides forward for Lyra here for sure. Absolutely. As she starts to circumnavigate the Temple of Fiends Revisited, the final dungeon. Loot in hand, 2 ribbons, dragon armor. But you know what Lyra wanted? She couldn't find it, though.
Wanted the Vorpal.
Yeah.
We know it was in the top of Marsh. Would have been a quick check had they gone and done that. But then again, the Mazmoon was also a quick check. How often do you see that, where within 2 minutes you can enter a dungeon and leave with the best 2 weapons in the game?
And here we have Lyra going to the right. Once again, this is Lyra's 3rd match. I believe her 5th, 6th seed. Maps. This is just this is a new player thing right here. She actually needs to go left and up. She's going right and up, but she'll certainly get there eventually. There's definitely been progression forward in a positive way. But was it Neon Gray, Falconic, that you said, who's here with us right now, that would do something that I did a lot of? First 20 minutes, first 30 minutes for early game?
Say that again?
I would often play the first 30 minutes.
No, that's Tiny Fairy.
Match.
Tiny Fairy
Tiny
does.
Fairy?
I love what Tiny Fairy does. She'll load up streams. You can catch her on Twitch. She'll load up streams where she'll just do the first 20, 30 minutes. She calls them sprint seeds. Fantastic idea for getting your early game going. Get the first 20, 30 minutes and try to, knock off several things on your list. If you don't see it, fine, reset, load another seed, get up and go. I promise you that practice is going to pay off.
Yeah, and that's kind of what me and Lyra have been working. And sometimes a little bit in the late game, that can kind of show up with routing through the Temple of Fiends Revisited. But with a couple more games under your belt, because we've talked about this multiple times before as well, is there anything really better than playing the game? Yeah, watching videos, yeah, listening, this. Gotta play the game.
Gotta play. I think there's no greater example than a member of Team Vorpal, Shylacia, who I think at this point in time, because of how much practice he's been putting in, I dare you to find somebody that has a faster early to mid game than Shylacia, and you won't. I
couldn't agree more, and I would put that up against anyone right now. Shylacia's been entering the Temple of Fiends Revisited at good levels, not great, but good and solid, at the 48-minute mark.
Sub 50 TOSR. Yeah, it's insane. So that's a name you want to look for. If you're a new player, if you're somebody in the community that wants to join, go check out Shylacia. We'll put the name in chat just in case you can't spell it, because it is weird. He's from the Netherlands. He's a weird goofy guy. But
he's our
watch that game. He's one of the best I think you can send a new player to say, do this. Maybe you won't match it right away, but
You know, one thing that happens every now and then as Lyra is getting to take out, hopefully very quickly, Lich 2. We did not see the nuclear. Lyra attack should be able to take out Lich 2 fairly quickly. A lot of players come in and say, you know, how can I be better? Which is a very broad question.
Yeah.
And we always come back, Falconic, with, you know, the I guess you could say generic answers of, you know, you got to play, you got to do this. And one thing that I try to point out and be more detailed with when someone asks that question and I want to help out is watching the streams and listening to certain commentators as they go through things. I know you're very good with that. And you know who's really good with that is the champion, our restreamer tonight, Edgeworth. Oftentimes I will say, dig out a match that Edgeworth is on the microphone, and he will give you all the knowledge that it is in certain situations that were on that broadcast that you could really ever use, because his commentary is absolutely fantastic. So play the game, listen, enjoy, and love the game.
I'm going to give a quick shout out to two of our, well, they're ducks now. They were recently ducklings. Shadowwalker227 and Tarnin_. Two people that on any given night, if you just tune in and watch them, whether they've got 0 viewers or 20 viewers, it doesn't matter. They're always talking through the things they do and why they're doing it. It's almost as if they're trying to create tutorial videos without meanings. Fantastic people to watch.
Yeah.
Newer to the community, kind of crafted their game from the Edgeworths, the Fuchsias, the Tristles that put out tutorial videos, and then have kind of repaid the community back with kind of commentating their run. So lots and lots and lots of information out there to learn from. And I agree. You learn by playing, you learn by watching, and then ignore, you know, half of what I say.
Those names, actually, the Shadowwalk Romulus and Tarnin's Night Elapsed, I can't thank them enough because they're helping join our crew here. Broadcasting, tracking, SVJ, I think you're still with us. SVJ, I believe, might be our newest restreamer.
Yep,
And
I'm getting it set up very short as we speak. You know, and I will be helping restream the tournament this coming up fall.
I can't express to you my gratitude, SVJ. I thank you. I think I've thanked you a couple times already, but I'll be doing a lot more of it. But the give back to the community and the willingness to participate from this group has really blown me away, and I can't be more thankful of it. Lyra's been involved. She's been tracking. Lyra actually asked earlier, how do I get in there with Will Cleosis? How do I do that? So that's certainly an honor as well.
Don't look now, Lyra SRL slowly and methodically making their way through TOFR on the most dangerous floor. I'd have to say, aside from TFC floor, which is also Sea Shrine, this is one of the most hated floors, I think, in the game.
It's got to be my most disliked. I can't think of anything else. I don't like that one in the Floating Fortress with the bad men, because bad men are creeping up on the man cats for the Dragon Slayer over here.
Yeah, that's Batman. Not too fun to see. Ice Cave, I think, definitely up there with a lot of people. Marsh Cave, if it even exists these days, nobody knows. Lyra, though, resources, I think, looks good. We're gonna see if I'm pretty sure she's one of the people that often rearranges her party. Let's see if we can get that Knight and the Red Wizard a little bit more safe. And here we go. This was one of the fiends that we saw kind of gave a little bit of trouble. Healing up, doesn't reorder the party. The fighter stays up top.
Ooh. Lyra's gonna attack right off the bat with 1 Invis 2 in a buff charge. 2 hits for not much. The Knight is in the top slot. There's an invisibility 2. There's an attack from the Knight. 2 hits, 15 damage. Oh boy. Fire 3 from Kraken, trying to whittle Lyra down a little bit. She's going to heal, and no more evasion. She's going to cast a fast. There's another attack for Lyra. 220 from the katana. That's good. There's a fast now, too, and there's the heal.
And Kraken's playing nice with these spells here, so enough time to kind of build up these defenses. Splitting the fast between the Defense Knight and the Katana Thief, though, you kind of want to just go all out on one, I think, maybe?
This is similar to what Neon Grey did. Neon Grey, this is basically what Neon Grey did. Neon Grey got through very well We'll see if Lyra can execute it as well. There's an Ice 3. There's another... The Katana's just killing it. 300 damage from the Katana. There's another Fade. Another Ice 2 from Kraken. Can Lyra make this happen? Her HP is starting to dwindle. 2 hits for 50. That Knight is not doing much. Lyra should probably make this happen. Try to make this happen on this round. You can see her looking at her spells. She's going to attack. There's a Fade. 100. There's a Lightning 3. It's not going to do too much. It's about 72. There's another attack from the Knight for 79. And the Katana comes through and misses. Oh, no. He got to the nuke.
It missed and followed with nuke, but the Red Wizard survived.
Red Wizard has got to survive this. You have got to protect the Red Wizard. You have got to attack.
Yes! Sorry, Will, I think my stream might be a little bit ahead of yours, but the Fade goes off, the Red Wizard survives, Life 2, plenty of charges, gets everyone back up. Lyra SRL lives to fight another day. Heals going off. We've got 40 plus heals. We're fine. Everything's looking good. There's no problems here.
Full HP, all full warriors are up. I like it through Kraken 2. Kraken 2 was probably the problem, I would think, in this match.
Yeah.
Kiyu, I know you're still here. Was Kraken 2 your biggest problem in this?
I didn't even know we had nuke. I got hit by 2 nukes first by the first 2 fiends. I'm like, oh, Kraken's just gonna whack me in the face, and never got nuke from him.
That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. The fiends can roll damage, they can roll spells. It looks like if Kraken chose to go through the spell list, Nuke wasn't too deep into that spell list. Unfortunately, wiped out 2 characters, but give Lyra credit here. She did the fast, she did tempers on on the Knight and on the Ninja. The fades were rolling out from the Red Wizard. You can kind of tell she was just putting the pedal to the metal, attacking instead of playing more defensively, and it paid off. And the Life 2s brought everyone back up. Here we are, 4 people alive. Moving on to Tiamat 2. Will, you said it. I think Kraken 2 was the scary of the 2.
Yeah.
Tiamat 2's beefy, but otherwise has been declawed. It has no fangs.
We're definitely going to stick with Lyra here in her quest to finish out this game. She runs into Rainbow Poogle Special, which are starting to give it to Lyra a little bit. Here in the echo of the floating castle on our way to Tiamat 2. Gonna take out these vampires. See if Lyra can make this happen. We'll see if we can get Lyra. We'll see if we can get Lyra in here, perhaps for an interview if she can take it. And then I'm thinking, we've got Czar with us, the leader, of course, of Team Vorpal. We'll tell you a little bit more about the league that's coming up. We've gone through a lot of it, but we're gonna go through that probably one more time. This is the eve of the league, season 2, and I'll tell you what. Tomorrow, Phil Connick, you know what we're gonna have?
What's that?
The biggest race in Final Fantasy Randomizer history. I believe it to be.
That's what they say. I'm hearing word, Czar, maybe you can fill us in. We're still getting entrants this late into the night, and it's still open.
What?
Is that
what?
True?
That's correct. We had a sign up just a couple minutes ago. We are now sitting at 57 entrants. And we anticipate maybe 1 or 2 more before the night is over.
And granted, there's 2 people on this broadcast right now, myself, F yourself, that because of obligations are not able to play. Our obligations are going to be with broadcasting and helping out and certainly employment life. And so that turnout without some people like myself, like you, Falconic, stellar. It blows me away.
Yeah, tremendously impressed with the turnout here. I think we were close to 40-ish or so for the last tournament. To have 57, with a few of the veterans sitting out of this one for real life issues or situations here, just phenomenal. And I can only imagine we're going to grow from here. I think that the way that the community has kind of exploded in the past 2 or 3 months, we're looking at potentially 100 or so, close to 100 for the next tournament. And if that happens, I don't care what's happening in real life, I'm joining.
Yeah, I'm joining too. Absolutely, yes. Time of year for my personal employment is hitting that time. So when that time does come, it won't be the time of more game changers will be involved. Lyra has lost the Black Wizard. The Red Wizard is the key here at 369 HP. I like that. You want to be over 300, but you must protect the Red Wizard in this match. It is the key light warrior that can make things happen. Slow 2 hits on the Red Wizard. That's who you want to hit. There's an attack from Lyra doing some damage. Another Invisive 2 goes out. Here comes the Knight, only 52 damage. It could be the Katana again and the Ninja that does the kill here.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm putting my chips. Oh, go ahead, Zar.
Given the luck she's getting, the extra levels that she obtained are definitely paying off here.
5 hits. It's a whole bunch of damage. There's a Mage Staff for a chip, but Tiamat's missing. 7 hits for 12 damage. Lyra takes out Tiamat 2 with 12 damage. That's how you do it, Team Forple. The Baroness is steps away from the Chamber of Chaos, and she has made it to the Chamber of Chaos. Lyra SRL looking to finish out this match, the final new player showcase as we start the league just tomorrow on October 1st, 2018. Lyra's going to check her menu, going to heal up. We'll see if she moves potentially that Knight to the bottom row. I gotta like the Katana here. Does Lyra realize that Knight is really doing a lot? Didn't do a lot against the last 2 Fiends. Do you adjust?
That's exactly what I was just about to ask you. On this fight with the defense sword, which is great, don't get me wrong, I'm taking the defense sword off. If it were me, and again, I'm a bad player, I would take the defense sword off, put it onto the Thief in a backup slot or roll, move the Power Gauntlet as well. I'd do 2 rollouts of the defense sword right away, power bonk the Katana, and I'm riding that Ninja until Chaos is dead. The Knight's just not getting it done.
Oh, I didn't really think of that, Zar. That's a great idea. The high crit rate from the Katana could be it here. You could see Lyra again. It's her 3rd match. It's 6th seed. We've been through this. You can see Lyra learning and trying to adjust. Oh, she's switching them.
Yes.
Okay. Oh. Yes. Okay. Oh.
Put the Ninja up top.
Ooh,
okay, she's riding the Knight. She's riding the Knight.
But it's there, and you're learning. Here we go. Chaos, the Ultimate Fiend versus Lyra SRL at the 2-hour, 48-minute, 40-second mark.
We're gonna think, and that's fine.
Gonna fast the Ninja in the top slot. Okay, let's get out some Invis 2s, maybe, Lyra.
Has the white shirt. Yep, has Invis 2, has white shirts.
Invis 2, I like it. Good, at least. Oh, okay, I like the evasion here. This is very good. 1 gets out. There's a fast on the Knight. There's another Invis 2. Good turn order for Lyra here against Chaos.
Great turn order, all 4.
Did Lyra get Brack? I know she has Exfer.
Yes.
Okay, so that's kind of a wild card.
Yeah. It's a Hail Mary, but it's viable.
It's going to heal after that Lightning 3. That Lightning 3 did a lot of damage to those top Light Warriors. There's an attack from the Knight. 172, that's pretty strong, but down goes the Black Wizard. 2 hits for 143.
Best character to get hit is that Black Wizard.
Heal 3 gets out. You can see Lyra thinking about it. What am I going to do next? I'm going to attack. There's a fade. Lyra's going to start attacking now.
I would like 1 more Invis 2 if it were me.
Me too.
For that reason right there.
And that's why I did, 43. 389 from the Ninjas, doing a lot of damage. There's a fade for 240. That's over almost 600 damage now into Chaos. She's got to be getting close. She's got to feel it. You got to feel it. What are you going to do? She's considering using the fade instead of attacking because she knows the attacking isn't getting the job done.
I like the adjustment, though. I would have liked to see 1 more Invis 2. Down goes the Ninja that was doing all the damage.
5 hits for 214.
Fades. She's doing it. Oh, she's attacking.
No, she's attacking. 95. There's another fade from Lyra. 164 is good enough. And down goes Chaos. Lyra SRL takes it down.
PB.
Personal best time. 2 hours, 50 minutes, 43 seconds. That's a personal best by a lot. I know this. Congratulations, Lyra SRL. We'll see if we can get her in here to talk about this. We finally were able to get Lyra in one of these matches to take down Chaos and give her the credit where the credit is due.
Will Cleosis. We saw 29 seconds separate first place from second place. But more importantly, we saw runners in this race that have less than 5 runs under their belt.
Yeah.
And 2 of them set personal best tonight. What a fantastic way to close out this beautiful creation that you, myself, and Moist Mogwai kind of put out in the wild. Could you have pictured it going any better?
No. I have a long-winded story about why I wanted to do this, and it's way too much to say. Plus, I'm way too excited for everything that just happened tonight, from what you just talked about, from Kiyu and Lyra to that great finish between Neon Gray and SVJ. I never saw this coming. the thing that surprises me the most, and I don't want to use the word surprised, I don't know, almost floors me, that the amount of finishes, they finish. They see Lyra and Kiyu see Neon Gray and SVJ finish, and they don't get discouraged.
Nope.
Okay, that's nice. Hey, good on them. I'm gonna play my game. I'm gonna keep going. I know I'm able to watch this back, maybe see what they did, like we talked about earlier. But it's the finishing and the not giving up. Because I'm gonna tell you this: when I started, I was giving in, and I kind of whether or not this game was for me to play.
Mhm.
And maybe it was for me personally to more of, be with the development team and maybe, just kind of contribute a little bit more. And I questioned that. And then up came the tournament and I realized, okay, I can play this. And you know what? No matter what happens, it's okay. And the level of that has blown me away for these PBs from these two players, the thing earlier. All these players are in the league, and it's just completely amazing to me.
Yeah, it blows you away. It's hard when you first start the game. It is hard to stick with it when you watch these videos of people just blowing through this game, and maybe you play the original and you feel, I know enough about this game that I can kind of compete. And then you put up 4 or 5 hour times and you're comparing it to the vets that you saw on Twitch or YouTube that are putting up sometimes just barely over an hour. But you can't improve a time unless you stick it out and finish. You have to stick with it, finish it, whatever your time is, that's fine. But then play it again and play it again and play it again, and you're going to get better at it. And you have this wealth of knowledge in the FFR Discord of some of the most friendly people that I think you're ever going to meet. So Lyra SRL, just a perfect case study of somebody who never gives up, and to be able to set a PB in the limelight on a stage like this, impressive. Blown away. Fantastic person, and I think just a beacon of exactly what a new player should aspire to be.
Lyra SRL, the Baroness herself. Can you hear us?
Oh goodness, I certainly can.
Welcome to the post-game interview. Congratulations. Great finish. We've been working together for quite a while. We've discussed, your game and your times. 2 hours, 50 minutes, your best time, a personal best, certainly by far. Tell us about the game and how it is that you're improving.
Before that, I want to play a little guessing game with everybody here and in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, when do you all think, I'll give you a minute to answer, that I started going on a witch hunt for Vorpal?
Well, had you had that, I think you would have finished a lot sooner. We can tell you that nobody found it. St. Von Jester SVJ, member of Team Vorpal for the league, starts tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday, October 1st, right here on Randomizer, your home for all the randomizers. Went in and dug it out of Marsh Cave. I would think that was it your mermaid check that you were looking for the game changer?
No, it was everything up, like, Sky was like the first part where I started.
Lyra, fantastic job. PB, right?
I believe it was, yeah.
Didn't find the Vorpal. You did have the katana. Some people would say it's on par with the Vorpal. Those people would be wrong. It's not the right color. You can only use it in one hand. It doesn't require two like the mighty Vorpal does. Didn't get to see it today, but you made adjustments along the way. We saw you shuffling your party members. Tell us a little bit about TOFR when you saw, especially around that Kraken 2 mark, when you've got 2 members down and you're on one knee with the red mage firing off that fade. What kind of led you towards going more on the offensive rather than playing defensive?
That's part of the thing where you have to just kind of feel the fight, and when you start getting things just falling down all around you, you have to go for the fences. Otherwise, you're just going to go right back 10 minutes.
Similar to what Falconic just asked you, Lyra, you had the fight with Kraken 2 and then Tiamat 2, and you clearly noticed that your knight wasn't getting the job done. Obviously, why you were trying to bind the Vorpal previously, you knew this was going to happen, and it happened. It seemed to us that especially your match against Chaos, you wanted to fire Fade instead, and you went back to the weapon. Did you consider throwing that Fade out for what you thought would be better damage?
Yeah, I was starting to think that because, as we saw in Nukes, that flat out didn't go off because Black Mage got slaughtered. But Fade was just like, I'm kind of on the fence about this, and I probably should have, honestly.
I think that's probably what I would have done as well. But you can see the new player progression. If should I throw Fade out from what should be my main damage dealer? Is there? It was probably the right play. Doesn't matter. You got it done, and you got there. I wanted to ask, Lyra, this is your third match. Is that correct?
Fourth, actually, I believe.
Fourth match. Okay. And how many seeds have you actually played?
Maybe a grand total of 5 to 7.
Pretty good, Falconic.
better than the pace I put forward when I
Yeah.
started.
Tell us about that grind outside Elfland, Lyra, early.
Oh, hey, that grind was purely for, oh, hey, I saw, like, exit. Oh, this looks like a great buy. Oh, guess what? I can't equip it anyways. So I figured I'd probably get to around 3 to 5k and actually just try to buy some spells and then not have to come back. But as you saw, I went back anyways for Knight and Ninja.
Did you consider, like, how you had the canoe and the floater, just getting some camping equipment, getting over to the Ryukon Desert, picking up the airship, and going to Cardia Islands for money instead of taking that time to take those kind of lower experience fights?
I wasn't exactly like thinking clearly at that point. I was like, okay, this looks like a solid thing for money. It's something that's,
Mhm.
not going to take up too much time because I had Fade shooting out. And it was just like,
Uh-huh.
why not at least try a little bit and see where it's going with it? I don't regret it at all, honestly.
Well, certainly a strong showing by everyone. One thing we noticed in today's race is that there were minimal wipes. Everyone seemed to adapt and adjust very well. And I think this is a hell of a way to go out with the new player race with a bang, at least for putting on the shelves for a few weeks for the league. But we are nearing the 3-hour mark, and so I think we should proceed to some final thoughts here. We'll give you some more information on the league thereafter.
Mhm.
So let's begin with our winner here, Neon Gray.
Not really sure what to say at this point that hasn't been already. Yay, I won. GG to everybody. Really great work from everybody, and yeah, should be good for like everybody. I think did well. So going with the league right up, that will be great for everybody. Yay.
SVJ.
Keep practicing and keep trudging on. Don't get discouraged if you get a time you don't like. You just you don't quit. If you quit, then you're be real upset about it. And just get away from the norms. Let those light warriors die. Don't find that special sword. Just go, and you will get those times down, and you will have a great time with this randomizer.
Our third place finisher tonight, a tiny fairy.
I think all you people in the audience who are watching this and enjoying this is really fun to play too. Hop in the Discord, find someone, doesn't matter who, we're all nice. Find someone to help you walk you through your first 1 or 2 runs. You'll be playing in no time. You'll be up here in the restream in no time.
I've been playing Final Fantasy Randomizer for a whole week and got 4th place in my first match, Kiyu.
Yes.
How you doing?
Final thought. What do you think about everything?
Those fiends with all those nukes. Thank you, Sardia. I'm glad I didn't see the third one. Thank you. Also, any sword in a storm. You get a sword, make sure you start do little things like trying to use saved items when you're trying to do long walks, reorganizing your party, making sure before you take a boss fight that you have your items on your right characters and you have your party in order.
The Baroness herself, Lyra SRL. Any final thoughts tonight?
Go Team Vorpal, go Team
Yeah.
go Team Tyro. Hey, I didn't violate any of my deeds because
I didn't find
that
any
was
stakes. I was
unrunnable.
very upset.
I ran into one. They were unrunnable.
I'm
They
sorry.
were unrunnable.
They were
Yeah.
unrunnable, and I hadn't saved in a while, so
I didn't find any
I-
stakes. I was very sad.
Yeah, I put it in the microwave.
All right,
I,
Q,
I'm,
what
I'm
else
team
do you-
steak. I'm team steak, man. I
Team
saw
steak all
steaks
the
were
way.
unrunnable steaks. I want steak and potatoes every single night.
Q,
A
you're my best
quick-
friend right now.
A quick look into our Final Fantasy Randomizer community. You talk about it. It just happened. We always have such a good time.
I
Definitely.
love you all.
The League. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be right here on Randomania, Family Network. It's also going to be broadcast on our other broadcast partner, Speed Gaming, and their family of networks. It starts tomorrow, October 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We just had another sign up, another new team. Czar, this is going to be great.
It is. I'm very excited about it. I'm very hyped about it. I've been looking forward to it ever since the conclusion of the spring tournament. And I can say that I do feel there will be prizes as well. So I think since we're going with a team format, the prize will be more suited toward a team instead of an individual. And I think that's going to encourage a lot of people as well. Everybody likes prizes, right? Everybody likes loot.
Yeah.
And again, the community is great. The competition is going to be off the chart. I
Oh.
think we all know. I have seen practice league seeds and amazing times, amazing strats. I've done very little practice myself, so I'm hoping that I will stand a chance. But very excited to see how this thing is going to play out. And very excited to see all of you come out. We enjoy our viewers very much as well. And we try to put on the best show we can for you, everybody. So thank you all so much for watching.
I'd like to thank the champion, Edgeworth, doing all the thankless job of restreaming, getting everyone up and going. Moist Mogwai, and all the work that Mama Duck does, Falconic. I can't thank her anymore. And you're one that knows even more than I do about the things that Moist Mogwai has done for the new player showcases and the Mama Duck overall.
Yeah, I think just to wrap this up, everyone did fantastic tonight, and I think no better way to put a ribbon on this just amazing thing that Will, you kind of spearheaded originally and passed the flame off to Moist. This new player showcase, just fantastic turnout. The leagues, the tournaments, they bring in all these new faces, but they need direction. They need to know, who can I talk to for help? Who can I go to for information? How do I get set up with SRL? Just everything. How do I just become part of the community? And that's what Moist Mogwai has done. She's kind of become what we refer to as the Mama Duck, the new player advisor. Of course, she's not alone, but she kind of spearheads. She makes sure that everyone feels welcome. Of course, the entire community is welcoming here. I think anyone that you talk to, if you just join the Discord, just pop in for 5-10 minutes. Take a look through the channels. Say hey. Watch how many people immediately say hey right back to you. If you're not quite ready to join just yet, that's fine. We've got the league starting tomorrow night, 8 p.m. So tune in, watch it. Come hang out in the Discord at the very least, just to kind of see what it's like, to see if it's kind of your environment, your community. And I bet you, like we said earlier, I think you're going to find a home here. I think it's been amazing, and I think we're only going to grow from here. And it's fantastic. Will, I have nothing else to say other than this has worked out better than I think you and I could have hoped.
Yeah, definitely. We've talked about that one-on-one, and certainly, obviously, but I'd like to thank Elastoid stepping up and doing his first tracking. The Godfather, Mr. Versetti, Team Vorpal, taking care of helping train, track as well, and everything he does broadcasts. Our leader of Team Vorpal, Czar, joining us in the booth tonight. The Enforcer, Falconic FF. My name is Will. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, alongside Miss Shenanigans herself, Rainbow Poogle, as we kick off the League Season 2. Just like myself and Poogle kicked off the 2018 Spring Tournament tomorrow, right here on Randomania, your home for all the randomizers.